Chapter 559. Peaceful times waiting for flowers to bloom. When Xue Wuji heard Yun Chujia's words, he immediately laughed out loud. Debiming. Aren't you being a bit too stingy? You actually didn't give anything to little sister Jiu. Little sister Jiu, you can't have such a man. If he doesn't care about you now, wouldn't it be even worse for you if you get married in the future? Debiming looked at him indifferently and ignored him. Xue Wuji saw that Debiming did not say anything and felt that Debiming was feeling guilty. Then he said, Debiming, you kept saying that you liked little Jiu, but it turns out that you were just saying it. How hypocritical. Little sister Jiu, you must keep your eyes open. You can't have such a man. Yun Chujiu pouted and looked at Debiming. Prince Charming, what kind of birthday present are you going to give me? Are you really not going to give me anything? Little sister Jiu, don't bother with him. If he's not going to give you anything, then so be it. Don't you still have me? I'll give you another gift. What do you like? Do you want something edible or something to use? As long as you want it, I'll give it to you. Xue Wuji was overjoyed. This was a great opportunity for him to show off. Debiming, this idiot, actually did not prepare a birthday present. Little Jiu. A deep voice sounded from outside the courtyard. Yun Chujiu was stunned and then ran outside the courtyard excitedly. Grandfather. Why are you here? I miss you. Yun Xiaotian patted Yun Chujia's little head. Silly child, today is your 16th birthday. Grandfather is here to give you a birthday present. Sob sob. Grandfather, you being able to come is the best birthday present you can give me. Yun Chujiu was so happy that she cried. To her, Yun Xiaotian was the elder she had been closest to for 2 lifetimes, and it was also the first time she had received familial affection from Yun Xiaotian. Therefore, when she saw Yun Xiaotian, she was extremely happy. The grandfather and granddaughter chatted for a while before Yun Chujiu asked, Grandfather, how did you come in? Doesn't the Spirit Radiance sect disallow outsiders to enter? Yun Xiaotian smiled and said, It was young Master Di who went to Master Xianyuan and asked Enfeng to escort me in. Yun Chujiu was stunned, and then she looked at Debiming gratefully. Prince Charming. This is the best birthday present I've ever received. Debiming smiled faintly. As long as you're happy. Yun Chujiu felt a sweetness in her heart, and she suddenly felt that the whole world had become a better place. She happily held Yun Xiaoshan's arm and chatted with Yun Chuzi and the others. Xue Wuji thought sourly at the side. Humph. This expressionless Debiming really knows how to take advantage of the situation. He didn't waste much effort and didn't even spend a single spirit stone. Yet he could beat my gift. There's still a long way to go. I don't believe that I can't beat you. Yun Chujia's birthday was exceptionally happy because of Yun Xiaoshan's presence. She was chattering like a little swallow as she shuttled through the crowd. The smile on her face was almost overflowing. Debiming just sat quietly at the side. As he watched Yun Chujia's happy figure shuttling through the crowd, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He silently swore in his heart, Little Jiu, I will make sure that you will always have such a carefree smile on your face. All the difficulties and dangers will be borne by me alone. While Yun Chujiu was busy, she accidentally turned her head and saw Debiming's affectionate gaze. It was rare for her face to turn red. She moved closer to Debiming's side and twisted the corner of her clothes. She whispered shyly, My Prince Charming, wait for me to grow up. Time spent waiting will be peaceful and flowers will bloom. Chapter 560. My heart is about to break. Debiming was stunned at first. Then he was overwhelmed by joy. He really wanted to hold this little person in his arms, and to be together all the time. Never to be separated. Little Jiu, I'll wait for you. No matter how long I have to wait, I will wait for you. Debiming's eyes were full of tenderness. There was only a delicate figure in his eyes, as if the other people and things did not exist anymore. Although Yun Chujiu and Debiming's voices were very soft, Xue Wuji's spiritual power was superb. He still heard it. His heart was sore, and even his nose and eyes were sore. Little Jiu, little sister, why can't you see my good side? I'm obviously 1,000 times better than that facial paralysis guy. You actually made such a promise to him. You've really made me sad. Xue Wuji was not in the mood to stay any longer. He forced out a smile and said, Little sister Jiu, I'll go back first. I'll come and see you another day. Goodbye, Brother Wuji. Come and play with me if you have time. Yun Chujia's little face was flushed red. She waved at Shue Wuji with a smile. Shue Wuji's heart felt incredibly sour. Little sister Jiu must have blushed because of Baiming. His heart was about to be broken. Hua Hua. Do you know what it feels like to have your heart broken? Your young master's heart is about to break. Shue Wuji said weakly. Shadow Agent Hua Hua was worried and angry at the same time. He thought to himself, you deserve it. You asked for it. I told you that Baiming and Yun Chujiu were in love and you shouldn't get involved. In the end, your heart was broken and now you're crying. What good would it do? Hua Hua, I'm asking you a question. Are you mute? Shadow Agent Hua Hua said respectfully. Young master, people with broken hearts perish easily. Why don't you take a few pills first? Shue Wuji was so angry that he almost choked and fainted. However, Hua's words were not wrong, so he gritted his teeth. Hua Hua, good. Very good. You're all bullying me. My heart is about to be broken. Little sister Jiu. Sob sob, little sister Jiu, achoo. Achoo. Damn it. Who is talking bad about me? Yun Chujiu sneezed twice. Little Jiu, did you catch a cold? Yun Xiaotian asked worriedly. Grandfather, don't worry. My body is fine. Some bastard must be talking bad about me behind my back. Grandfather, you can stay in the Spirit Radiance sect for a few more days. I will accompany you and take you around. I will go back tomorrow morning. I'm already very happy that Master Xinyuan allowed me to accompany you for your birthday. If you miss me, go back when you have time. I will get someone to cook delicious food for you. Yun Chujiu inexplicably felt a little soreness in her nose. Grandfather, I feel so happy. I have you, my brothers and sisters, and my Prince Charming. I really hope that it will always be like this. Yun Xiaotian patted her little head. Silly child, nothing is forever. However, you must remember that happiness is in your own hands. If it was someone else who lectured her like this, Yun Chujiu would definitely roll her eyes at them. However, when those words came out of Yun Xiaoshan's mouth, she felt warmth. At night, everyone took their leave. Yun Xiaotian went to Yun Chusi's courtyard. When the old man saw Baiming staying in Yun Chujia's courtyard, he felt a little apprehensive. Could it be that the two children had already started living together? Seeing that his grandfather was worried, Yun Chuzi told Yun Xiaotian about how the siblings had advised Yun Chujiu before. Then he smiled and said, Grandfather, don't worry. Little Jiu knows what she's doing. She won't go overboard. Yun Xiaotian nodded. The Yun family's future could be set to be bright. A few juniors had entered the Spirit Radiance sect, and they were all inner sect disciples, not to mention a true disciple like little Jiu. However, there was a faint sense of unease in his heart for some reason. Yun Xiaotian secretly shook his head. He was already old, but he loved to let his imagination run wild. He must have been frightened last time. He must have thought too much. Chapter 561. Cloud Shadow Crescent Bracelet. After washing up, Yun Chujiu sat cross-legged on the bed and fiddled with the birthday present she had received. She said happily, I will make a small fortune once I celebrate my birthday. It would be great if I could do it 8 or 10 times a year. The corner of Baiming's eyes twitched. He took out a bracelet from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chujiu. Keep this bracelet well. Wow, it's beautiful. What kind of bracelet is this? Yun Chujiu took the bracelet and played with it. This bracelet was gentle in texture. The most peculiar thing was that there were threads of clouds and a crescent moon in it. It's a cloud shadow crescent bracelet. My grandmother left it behind, Baiming said unnaturally. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes. Did she leave it behind for her granddaughter-in-law? Isn't this usually given to her daughter-in-law by her mother-in-law? Why is it in your hands? My mother was not around when my grandmother passed away, so she gave the bracelet to me. Baiming was a little uncomfortable under Yun Chujiu's starry eyes, so he put out the candle. Yun Chujiu saw that Baiming was not willing to say more, so she tactfully did not ask any more questions. She put the bracelet on her wrist. Then she said happily, Sigh, I can't help it if I'm beautiful. Wearing this bracelet makes my skin look as white as jade. My skin is as smooth as cream, and my beauty heavenly. Baiming was a little sad when he thought of the past. However, after being interrupted by Yun Chujio, the corner of his eyes twitched and he immediately threw all those things to the back of his mind. "Oh right, Prince Charming. When is your birthday? I'll give you an unforgettable birthday present." Yun Chujio finished admiring the new bracelet and asked Beiming with a smile. October 10th. October 10th, it's really easy to remember. There are still 3 months left. It's enough for me to prepare a birthday present for you. When the time comes, I will give you a big surprise. Beiming was about to speak when the voice transmission talisman in his storage ring started to vibrate. After Beiming sent his divine sense in, he could not help but sit up in surprise. "Little Jiao, my master has come out of seclusion. You are going to be saved." "That's great. Today is really a good day. So many good things have come together. Little Jiao, I will rush back to the Tianyuan continent tomorrow and find my master and tell him about your situation in detail. Wait for my good news." Beiming said happily. In his opinion, there was no problem that his master could not solve. He must have a way to get rid of the strange grass in the black things dantian. Yun Chujio was also very happy. Who would be willing to have something in their dantian? Moreover, she was an ambitious person who wanted to get rid of the suspicious grass as soon as possible. The sooner she got rid of it, the better. The next day, Beiming returned to the Tianyuan continent. Yun Chujio counted on her fingers and waited for Beiming to return. Unexpectedly, 3 days later, Beiming sent her a voice transmission talisman. "Little Jiao, my master had some urgent matters and I was unable to meet him. Don't be anxious, wait for my news." Yun Chujio would be lying if she said that she wasn't disappointed. However, she had always been upbeat. After being disappointed for a short while, she became lively again. While she was bored, the ancient mine trial had begun. The ancient mine was an abandoned mine left over from ancient times. There were all kinds of ore inside, but it would only open once every 10 years. For a month, the 4 great sects would send their disciples to the trial. Only people below the level of spiritual emperor could enter the ancient mine, and the demonic beasts inside were all above level 4. Therefore, the disciples sent to the ancient mine were usually spiritual cultivators. This was because, unlike the other trials, the ancient mine trial did not have jade tokens or other items. If they encountered any danger, they could only rely on themselves. Therefore, if the average disciple felt that their spiritual power level was not sufficient, they would not sign up. Yun Chujio felt that since she could not cultivate, it would be good to gain some actual combat experience. Hence, she adjusted her spiritual power level to the 8th level of spirit enhancement before hopping over to the mission office to sign up. Chapter 562. I want to register. Yun Chujia's appearance had caused a group of people to start gossiping. However, given Yun Chujia's valiant behavior, everyone only dared to do it in a low voice. Heavens, Yun Chujio rose from the 4th level to the 8th level of spirit enhancement all of a sudden. Isn't this too heaven-defying? TCH. Maybe it was from the overuse of medicinal pills. I heard that many high-level spirit herbs were missing in Elder Chi's spirit herb garden. Perhaps they were all used to refine pills for Yun Chujio. Humph! Yun Chujio was really lucky. She passed the 9th level of the Wuwei Tower with pure luck. The sect must value her. If she stayed at the 4th level of spirit enhancement, it wouldn't be good for their reputation. Therefore, they must have put in a lot of effort in her. That makes sense. But what did she come here for? Could it be that she wants to participate in the ancient mine trial? Impossible. The lowest level to go to the ancient mine is the 1st layer of the spirit cultivator realm. Why would she, who is only at the 8th layer of the spirit enhancement realm, join in the fun? Besides, the ancient mine is different from other trials. If she encounters any danger, she has to fend for herself. Unless she had a death wish, she should not sign up. Yun Chujio hopped in front of the disciple who signed up and handed her name tag to the disciple. I'll sign up. The disciple was stunned for a moment. Yun Chujio, are you going to sign up for the ancient mine trial? Yun Chujio nodded. Yes, I'm doing it. Help me sign up. Boom. The crowd instantly exploded. Was Yun Chujio crazy? She wants to participate in the ancient mine trial? Wasn't she walking to her death? The disciple's eyes flickered. Junior sister Yun, if you're sure, I'll help you sign up. That disciple was by Morris' admirer. Seeing that Yun Chujio was walking to her doom and wanted to participate in the ancient mind trial, how could he dissuade her? He couldn't wait to register her and ask Bai Moru for credit. When Bai Moru heard that Yun Chujio was going to participate in the ancient mind trial, he immediately passed the news to Su Yenran through an insider. After Su Yenran received the news and reported the matter to Du Gai, he threw his head back and laughed. Good. Good. I was just worried that I wouldn't have the chance to get rid of that wretched girl. She is rushing to her death. Yenran, during the ancient mind trial, the disciples sent by the Heaven's Gate will listen to your orders. Find an opportunity to kill that wretched girl. If you can kill Yun Chujio, I will reward you handsomely when you return. Su Yenran nodded. Yun Chujio, your time has come. This time you won't be able to escape even if you had wings. When Master Xinyuan learned that Yun Chujio had registered for the ancient mind trial, he was so angry that he went over to Yun Chujio and scolded her. Nonsense. This is simply nonsense. Do you know how dangerous the ancient mind trial is? No jade tokens can be sent out. It has to wait for a month before it can be sent out. The lowest level of demonic beast in there is at least level 4. You are only at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. You have advanced? Only then did Master Xinyuan realize that Yun Chujio had already advanced to the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm. He paused for a moment before continuing. Even the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm is not enough. Not to mention those demonic beasts, those people from the Heaven's Gate sect cannot be dealt with by you. That old thing Du Gai wants nothing more than to kill you. He will definitely make use of this opportunity to have his disciple kill you. You are not allowed to go. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Master Xinyuan, the tip of a treasured sword comes from sharpening. The fragrance of plum blossoms comes from the bitter cold. How can one see the rainbow without experiencing wind and rain? No one can succeed so easily. I will end up always staying in the Linghua sect and working behind closed doors. That isn't good enough for me. Master Xinyuan was stunned by Yun Chujio's words. This little girl, how did she come up with so many excuses? However, she sounded quite convincing. Chapter 563. Pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger, no matter how nicely you word it, it won't do. If you want to increase your combat experience, you can choose another mission. You are not allowed to go to the ancient mine. Master Xinyuan said firmly. Master Xinyuan, it's not like him going alone. Didn't senior brother Feng Ming and the others sign up as well? With them around, it will be fine. Just let me go. The ancient mine sounds awesome. There must be something good inside. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up as she said, What do you mean by increasing your combat experience? I think you're just greedy. You're going after the inside. You've been in danger over and over again, scaring us old bones out of our wits. What if there's another accident this time? Master Xinyuan rubbed his forehead. He felt his head ache. Anyone with such a mischievous family member would all live 10 years less. Then why can senior brother Feng Ming and the others go? Yun Chujio asked unwillingly. Feng Ming is at the 5th level of the spirit cultivator realm. Those who go to the ancient mine for the trial should be at least at the 1st level of the spirit cultivator realm. If you were at the 1st level of the spirit cultivator realm, I would not stop you. I would definitely let you go. Master Xinyuan could not continue because the spirit energy that Yun Chujio displayed at this moment was actually at the 2nd level of the spirit cultivator realm. Yu, what's going on? You are actually at the 2nd level? Master Xinyuan rubbed his eyes and asked in disbelief. Yes, that is how low-key am I. Although my cultivation speed is very fast, I still adhere to the principle that pride makes people lag behind and modesty makes people improve. I have always displayed my spiritual power at the 4th level. There aren't many people like me who are this low-key, Yun Chujio said smugly. The corner of Master Zuanyuan's eyes twitched. You're keeping a low profile? I'm afraid you're playing dirty. No wonder this fellow was able to pass the 9th level of the Wuwei Tower trial. It turned out that she was pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Master Xinyuan, I can go now, right? Don't worry, with my smarts, even if I meet people from the Heaven sect, I'm not afraid. Not to mention senior brother Feng Ming and the others. said Yun Chuzhou as she adjusted her spiritual power level back to the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm. She said with a smile. Master Xianyuan saw that Yun Chuzhou was determined to go, so he could only nod and agree. He especially brought Fengming, Gengyi, and Shixian in front of him and instructed them to ensure Yun Chuzhia's safety. Although Gengyi and Shixian both nodded and agreed, they still had some doubts in their hearts. Was the master taking Yun Chuzhou too seriously? Could it be that junior sister Jiu had someone powerful behind her? Fengming was well aware that such a little devil naturally needed to be protected. Yun Chuzhou went to the General Affairs office to buy a few pickaxes for mining. She also went to the big kitchen to get a lot of chili noodles and pepper noodles. The stock from last time was all used up in the League of Assassins hideout, so she naturally needed to replenish it. Yun Chuzhou returned to the courtyard and shouted to a corner, "And Feng, come out for a moment. I have something to tell you." And Feng had already passed through the open road, so when he heard Yun Chuzhou calling out to him, he appeared and asked respectfully, "Miss Jiu, what are your orders?" "I'm going to the ancient mine to train in 3 days. Only people below the Spirit Emperor realm can enter there, so you definitely won't be able to enter. When the time comes, you can just wait for me outside." Miss Jiu, it's said that the ancient mine training is very dangerous. In addition to the people from the heavenly sect, are you sure about this? And Feng was about to cry. If something happened to this little devil, His Excellency would definitely collapse. "I have to go. I have always been too successful. I have to have some challenges to stimulate my potential. Don't worry, I won't die. Even the heavenly thunder can't kill me, not to mention those scum from the heaven sect." Yun Chuzhia's eyes were filled with determination. "Only through constant training will I become stronger. I, Yun Chuzhou, don't believe in heaven and earth. I only believe in myself." Chapter 564. The ancient mine, and Feng had no choice but to nod his head and agree. After Yun Chuzhou entered the room, he quickly told Di Biming about this news. Di Biming felt that cultivation was full of dangers. Simply escaping was not a solution. It was not impossible for the black thing to gain some combat experience. Moreover, she still had a defensive spirit tool and a concealment talisman on her. Hence, he gave Yun Chuzhou a few instructions, but he did not stop her. 3 days later, Yun Chuzhou hopped onto the airship that was heading to the ancient mine. Yun Chuzhou looked around and found that most of the people inside were core disciples. Only a few of them were inner disciples, and their spiritual power was above that of a spirit cultivator. This time, Elder Shao and Elder Chu were still leading the team to the ancient mine. Yun Chuzhou thought of the lie she made up in front of Gold Face and could not help but giggle. Wu Yinyu said to Zhua Piaoyu in a low voice, "Senior Sister Zhua, look at that bitch. She really overestimated herself. A level 8 spirit cultivator actually dared go to the ancient mine. She's really digging her own grave." A trace of viciousness flashed in Zhua Piaoyu's eyes, but she said, "Don't talk nonsense. If you dare to say bad things about junior sister Yun in front of me in the future, we won't have any more interactions." Wu Yinyu didn't dare to offend Zhua Piaoyu. She was embarrassed and didn't say anything, but she cursed in her heart. It sounded nice, but she hated her to death in her heart. What a hypocrite. No wonder that bitch Yun Chuzhou said that she was a white lotus. If it wasn't for my father's request from the Zhua family, I wouldn't have bothered with you. Yun Chuzhou was still together with Fengming, Shixian, and Gengyi. They played cards, ate hot pot, and had a lot of fun. She wished that this journey would take as long as possible. It would be better to arrive at the ancient mine later. 3 days later, the airship arrived at its destination. After jumping off the airship, Yun Chuzhou was extremely shocked. In front of her was a huge pit that stretched as far as the eye could see. Because of the enchantment, Yun Chuzhou could only look inside from the edge. There seemed to be a different world inside the pit because there was light coming out from inside. Could it be that this pit was just a passage? The airships of the other 3 sects arrived one after another. As expected, all of them were above the level of a spirit cultivator. Most of these people had seen Yun Chuzhou during the trial of the Wuwei Tower. Although they were a little surprised that Yun Chuzhou had suddenly risen from the 4th level to the 8th level, they were more disdainful and mocking. A spirit cultivator of the 8th level actually came to the ancient mine for the trial. Her head had been kicked by a spirit beast. Wasn't she courting death? A trace of viciousness appeared in Su Yanren's eyes. Yun Chujo, you have a death wish. You don't have to be anxious. This ancient mine will be your grave. When the opening time of the ancient mine was over, the powerful enchantment instantly disappeared. Everyone scrambled to jump into the deep pit. Yun Chujo squatted at the entrance of the pit and wondered, "Oh my God, aren't these people afraid of falling to their deaths?" The deep pit looked to be at least a few thousand feet high. After a while, Yun Chujo discovered that the people who had jumped down had instantly disappeared without a trace. It seemed that there was a teleportation array here. Feng Ming saw that Yun Chujo was still not jumping down, so he asked, "Junior sister Little Jiu, are you regretting your decision? If you don't want to go down, follow Elder Chu and the others and wait for us to come back here." "Hehe, since we're already here, why would we be afraid? I was thinking that if we jumped down we would be transported to different places. Let's hold hands and jump down together. This way we can be transported to the same place," Yun Chujo said with a smile. Feng Ming and the other two nodded, so the four of them held hands and formed a circle, then jumped into the deep pit. Chapter 565. I'm not tired at all. Just as Yun Chujo felt the wind blowing past her ears, a white light flashed, and the four of them were transported to an extremely desolate place. The ground was filled with small rocks. Yun Chujo picked one up and looked at it. Pooh! They were all worthless limestone rocks. Where were the rare ores that she was promised? Senior brother Feng Ming, didn't you say that this ancient mine was filled with gemstones? This place is bare. Where are we going to dig for gemstones? Yun Chujo pouted and asked. Feng Ming scratched his head and said, Junior sister Jiu, I heard from my senior brother who came here before that the places where they were teleported to are basically beside the mine. They could use the pickaxe to dig for gemstones. However, there seems to be something wrong with our situation. Gung Yi picked up the pickaxe and threw it to the ground a few times. He said dejectedly, there is a layer of limestone below. It is impossible for there to be gemstones. Let's go to another place. After everyone nodded their heads in agreement, they originally wanted to ride their swords and leave. They called out their flying swords and realized that this place was a no-fly zone. They could only laugh bitterly as they walked towards the east. As for why they chose the east side, it was because they could vaguely see a tall mountain on the east side. Everyone felt that it must be a mine. With the attraction of the mine, everyone felt that they could accept the fact that it was a little more tiring to travel. Feng Ming and the others usually rode their swords and flew, but this was the first time they had traveled such a long distance. Although they were blessed with spiritual power, they were still exhausted and sweating profusely. On the other hand, Yun Chujo was jumping around and kicking stones when she had nothing to do. She was extremely relaxed. Junior sister Little Jiu, aren't you tired? Gung Yi asked curiously. Not bad. Are you very tired? Your spiritual power is higher than mine, and you're still boys. Will your physical strength be better than mine? Yun Chujo tilted her small head and asked in puzzlement. When Gung Yi and the other two heard Yun Chujia's question, they immediately straightened their backs and squeezed out a smile. Not tired. Not tired. How can we not have better physical strength than you? I was just worried about you. Yun Chujo nodded. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm not tired at all. Let's speed up. Shining gold ores are waiting for us in front of us. Feng Ming and the other two looked at the lively Yun Chujo and cursed in their hearts. It seemed that little sister Zhou's daily running around the entire Linghua sect was had an effect. At the very least, her physical strength was astonishing. The three of them felt that if they let Yun Chujo beat them, they would lose face, so they gritted their teeth and persevered. When the moon rose, the four of them finally reached the foot of the mountain. Feng Ming and the other two could no longer care about their reputations. They sat on the ground and panted heavily. Yun Chujo, on the other hand, energetically picked up the pickaxe and dug into a rock. Fuck! It's refined iron ore. It's the least valuable. We've come so far for nothing. Yun Chujo picked up a piece of ore and said with disdain, Junior sister Little Jiu, although refined iron ore is not valuable, it's better than nothing. Let's rest for a while and dig after dinner. Feng Ming said weakly. That's right, little ninth junior sister. Although the refined iron ore isn't worth much, there might be some accompanying ores. If we can dig up something like the Misty Mine, we'll be rich. Sure, Xian echoed from the side. Yun Chujo nodded. Seeing that the three of them were very tired, she took out a basin of steamed buns from her storage ring. Eat, it's still warm. After you finish eating, rest for the night. It's not too late to dig in the morning. Anyway, it's not worth much, so nobody will be snatching it from us. Chapter 566 is just the tip of the iceberg of my intelligence. When Feng Ming and the other two heard Yun Chujia's words, they were extremely happy. If they weren't afraid that Yun Chujia would laugh at them, they wouldn't have said anything about digging after dinner. They were simply exhausted and falling apart. While the three of them were eating, Yun Chujia found a place to shelter from the wind. She brought out some wood from her storage ring and lit a bonfire. Senior brothers, let's eat here. It can shelter us from the wind and keep us warm. Yun Chujia waved her hand at the three of them. Junior sister little Jiu, you even prepared firewood? You are really thoughtful. Feng Ming praised. The temperature was dropping rapidly. If it weren't for junior sister little Jiu, we would have to circulate our spiritual power to maintain our body temperature. What's the big deal? I even buried some spirit potatoes under the bonfire. In a while, let's move the bonfire away so we can eat the roasted spirit potatoes. Yun Chujio hadn't learned anything much in her previous life, but she had learned these survival skills quite well. Sure enough, after a while, Yun Chujio moved the bonfire and then took out a few roasted spirit potatoes from underneath the bonfire. The burnt fragrance permeated the air, especially in such cold weather. Eating a piece of it warmed her heart. Yun Chujio moved the bonfire to a different place every once in a while. Feng Ming and the other two asked in puzzlement, Junior sister little Jiu, this bonfire is burning well. Why do you keep moving it? Yun Chujio smiled slyly. The bonfire is burning hot down here. It's just right to sleep on it. It's so warm. The three of you take turns to be on night duty. You can even get a break like this. I'm going to sleep first. Feng Ming and the other two wanted to praise Yun Chujio for her resourcefulness, but they swallowed their words. Well, they didn't plan to let Yun Chujio watch the night. After all, she was the youngest and a girl. But don't you know how to be a little tactful and let them show their grace as seniors? It's really warm when you lie on it. Junior sister little Jiu is really smart. Sure, Xian couldn't help but praise her. It was rare to sleep so warmly in the wilderness. Just average. This is just the tip of the iceberg of my intelligence. You will find out how much smarter I am in the future. Yun Chujio said shamelessly. Sure, Xian Feng Ming and Yun Chujio had known each other for the longest time. They had long been used to her shameless spirit. They smiled and said, you two will get used to it. Junior sister little Jiu can't breathe if she doesn't praise herself a little every day. Yun Chujio pouted and said, Senior brother Feng Ming, is that called self-praise? I'm stating the facts, okay? I'm just that smart. There's nothing I can do about it. Say, if you didn't have my intelligence, would you be able to eat the hot roasted spirit potato? Could you sleep so warmly? Feng Ming couldn't help but laugh. Good. Good. Junior sister little Jiu is the smartest. Junior sister little Jiu is from the Linghua sect. Ah no, she's the smartest person in the Qingxian continent. That's enough praise, right? Yun Chujio then said with a smile, that's more like it. Let's go to bed. See you tomorrow. Feng Ming and the other two shook their heads. Junior sister little Jiu was indeed young. She still had a child's character. They did not know if she would be able to keep going for the next few days. The night passed exceptionally peacefully. There were no enemies or demonic beasts. Everyone rested well, and their physical strength had also recovered. The next day after breakfast, the four of them began to dig. Yun Chujio dug for half a day, and only managed to find a little iron concentrate. She did not see a hint of any so-called valuable ores. She was extremely regretful at this moment. She was really stupid. She should have brought the fire essence beasts. They could just eat and dig out a lot of ore, right? What a miscalculation. Chapter 567. Stone-eating rats. The four of them had been digging for a whole day. Although they had dug up some concentrated iron ores, They did not see any more valuable ones. They were a little discouraged. Concentrated iron ore was already easily found outside, so it was not worth wasting time on this. Yun Chujio threw the pickaxe on the ground. Senior brother Fengming, is there no way to quickly determine whether there is anything more valuable? Fengming wiped the sweat from his forehead. Unless there is a stone-eating rat. However, stone-eating rats are ancient demonic beasts. It is said to be extinct. It feeds on all kinds of ores and can determine the type of ores in a mine by its sense of smell. Yun Chujia's eyes lit up. This stone-eating rat sounds like a helpful thing. This is an ancient mine. There might really be stone-eating rats alive here. It would be great if we could catch 8 or 10 of them. The corners of Fengming and the other two's eyes twitched. You must be out of your mind. 10 or 8 of them. Did you think that these stone-eating rats are everywhere? If we could catch even one, it would be enough to cause a stir in the Qingxian continent, right? If one found stone-eating rats, it would be like owning a treasure trove. As long as the stone-eating rats found a place that contained precious ores, the owner would be waiting to count the potential money. Junior sister Jiao, don't dream about it. Don't mention 10 or 8, even one stone-eating rat is hard to come by. This ancient mine had existed for tens of thousands of years. People who come to the mine for training have never encountered any. The stone-eating rat must have been extinct for years, Gung Yi said. Well, let's not talk about the stone-eating rat first. We have been digging for a whole day, but we haven't found anything more than iron. Should we change places tomorrow? Yun Chuzhou asked Fengming and the other two. The three of them also felt that the possibility of finding precious ore here was not high. They all agreed to leave tomorrow in search of a new mine. At night, Fengming and the other two were still on duty. At midnight, Gung Yi, who was in charge of night duty, found several blue lights in the distance. Gung Yi was stunned at first. Then he was so scared that he quickly woke up Fengming and the other two. Wake up! Wake up! There are mine wolves are coming. Oh my god! There are 20 to 30 of them, right? Mine wolves are rank 5 demonic beasts. If there were around only 10 of them, we could still fight them. But there are so many of them we can't beat them at all. What should we do? Let's run. Shixian said in a low voice. Fengming disagreed and said, run? Where should we run? We can't ride our swords here. How can we outrun these crazy wolves? Why don't we climb up the mine? Shixian wanted to slap himself after saying that. Mine wolves were different from other demon wolves. They were better at climbing. If they chose to climb up the mine, it would only speed up their inevitable demise. We can't win this fight and we can't run either. What should we do? Shixian asked anxiously when he saw the wolf pack getting closer and closer. We can only fight them head-on. Junior sister little Jiao, when the wolf pack pounces on us later, we will hold them back. You should run quickly. Fengming saw that Yun Chuzhou hadn't said anything and was paralyzed with fear, so he quickly instructed her. There are a total of 24 mine wolves. Senior brother Fengming is at the 5th layer of the spirit cultivator realm. You deal with 6. Gung Yi and senior brother Shixian, you are at the 4th layer of the spirit cultivator realm. The 3 of you deal with 4 each. I will deal with the remaining 10. I will help you after killing them. Yun Chuzhou said faintly. Fengming was so angry that he was amused. Junior sister little Jiao, do you realize the situation we're in? Do you still have the mood to joke? Quickly activate the defensive spirit tools on your body. When we take action in a while, run immediately. Run as fast as you can, do you hear me? Chapter 568. Little Zhou's thunderbolt. Fengming saw that Yun Chuzhou kept silent. He was so anxious that his face was red and shouted, Junior sister little Jiao, this is not the time to be stubborn. I have promised the sect master that I must guarantee your safety. Gung Yi and Shixian also said anxiously, yes, junior sister little Jiao, this is not a joke. These mine wolves are extremely ferocious. While we will hold them off, you have to run quickly. Yun Chuzhou sighed, do you think I am that weak? I am a 2nd level spirit cultivator, not an 8th level spirit enhancement practitioner. It was just to confuse others. Yun Chuzhou adjusted her spiritual power level to the level of a 2nd level spirit cultivator. Then she saw the dumbstruck faces of Fengming and the other two. Damn it, you really are a 2nd level spirit cultivator. Why didn't you say so earlier? You made us worry for you in vain. Junior sister Little Joe, although you are at the second level of the spirit cultivator realm, you can only deal with 2 mine wolves at most. How about I deal with 8 mine wolves and Gung-Yi and the others will deal with 7 mine wolves each? You can deal with 2 mine wolves. If you can't beat them, you will run immediately. Do you hear me? Feng Ming said seriously. Yun Chujio could only nod her head. She thought to herself that it was better to let the facts speak for themselves. By the way, this would be the first time she used her thunder spirit power in front of them. What pose would she use to appear cool and attractive later? Feng Ming and the other 2 saw Yun Chujio mumbling in a low voice and thought that she was nervous, so they comforted her one after another. Junior sister Little Joe. Although a mine wolf is equivalent to a second-level spirit cultivator, the demonic beasts are not that intelligent. In addition, we have a spirit tool on us, so we might have a chance of winning. You don't have to be too nervous. That's right, Junior sister Little Joe. You might not have encountered such a situation before. You'll get used to it. We've all been in these situations before. Although it's dangerous this time, it's not hopeless. We'll definitely be able to turn the situation around. Don't be afraid. Yes, Junior sister Little Joe. If you're really afraid, you can deal with 1 wolf in the meantime. Leave the other one to me. In any case, 1 more or 1 less is no big deal. Although Feng Ming and the other 2 were very nervous, they all put on a relaxed look to comfort Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio inexplicably felt a little sour in her nose and said with a smile, I'm not afraid. I'll show you how powerful I am. Feng Ming and the other 2 shook their heads in their hearts. Junior sister Joe was too blindly confident. No matter how powerful a second-level spirit cultivator was, how powerful could she possibly be? Would she still be as powerful as them? When the fight starts, no matter what, they had to protect her first and not let her get hurt. At this time, the mine wolf pack had already arrived in front of them. The leader was a slightly larger wolf king, and its blue eyes revealed a greedy light. The wolf king cried out a few times, and the pack of wolves rushed towards the 4 of them. Feng Ming and the other 2 formed a triangle, protecting Yun Chujio in the middle, and blocked the mine wolves that pounced over toward her. Yun Chujio originally wanted to make a move immediately, but seeing the posture of Feng Ming and the other 2, she thought about it and decided to observe the situation first. It was a good opportunity to test the strength of the 3 of them. In the beginning, Feng Ming and the other 2 were full of spiritual energy and could cope with it. As time passed, they gradually began to falter. Feng Ming shouted, Junior sister Little Joe, we will block the wolves in a while. You have to quickly run. Run? I am not here to practice running. Look at my Little Joe's thunderbolt. Yun Chujio shouted and purple lightning struck the mine wolves in front of her. Chapter 569. Why are you pinching my thigh? The thunderbolt struck the mine wolf's body, and immediately a miserable scream rang out. Demonic beasts instinctively feared the purple lightning, and the mine wolves were so frightened that they retreated one after another, hiding behind the wolf king. Whether it was the mine wolf or Feng Ming, they were all scared silly. What was going on? Were there thunderclouds in the sky? No, it seemed that these bolts of lightning were sent out by Junior sister Joe. However, weren't cultivators usually armed with fireballs, wind blades, water arrows, poison vines, and earth shields? How could there be those that used lightning strikes? Feng Ming pinched his thigh hard, and sure enough it didn't hurt. How could Junior sister Joe be so strong? It was simply too unbelievable, wasn't it? Feng Ming, why are you pinching my thigh? You pervert! Shi Xian roared angrily. Feng Ming shirked, then pointed at Yun Chujio and said, Is this real? Does Junior sister Joe have a thunder spirit root? She's using the purple heavenly lightning. Could it be that she has a heavenly thunder root spirit? Yun Chujio nodded with a smile. I've already said that I'm very powerful. Do you believe me this time? Feng Ming and the other 2 nodded in a daze. The 3 of them almost recalled at the same time that the back of the middle peak was always struck by lightning. Could it be that it was the heavenly lightning that struck Junior sister Joe? Oh my God! They remembered that there were several times when the heavenly lightning bolts lasted for several hours, but Junior sister Little Joe was not struck to death. Wasn't this too unbelievable? Although the Wolf King was afraid of Yun Chujio's purple heavenly lightning bolts, its greed still overcame its fear. It cried out twice and the mine wolves pounced again. Junior sister Xiao Jiu, although the heavenly lightning spirit root is powerful, your spiritual power is the lowest. You need to deal with a few less. Feng Ming swallowed his words because he felt that these words were a slap to his face. He saw Yun Chuzhou hacking away without pause. Moreover, she was using both her left and right hands. Oh God, someone tell me what's happening. Why did junior sister little Jiu not need to form a seal to continuously blast away with her heavenly lightning? Those mine wolves were unlucky. They had never encountered such a monster. Although they had occasionally encountered one or two thunder spirit roots, the lightning they unleashed was only silver in color. Furthermore, they had to pause for a while before they could unleash a second strike. What the hell was this little monster doing with her left and right hands continuously? Although the Wolf King was greedy, it saw that the situation was not looking good, so it howled a few times unwillingly and escaped with the remaining dozen or so mine wolves. Yun Chuzhou followed the principle of not wasting the bodies of the mine wolves on the ground and put them into her storage ring. Then she yawned and said, "Damn, I'm so sleepy. You guys should take turns to be on guard. I'm going to sleep." Feng Ming and the other two were very curious at this time, but they couldn't let the little girl sleep, right? The three of them were so excited that they almost didn't sleep the whole night. Early the next morning they surrounded Yun Chuzhou. Junior sister little Jiu, are you really a heavenly lightning spirit root? Junior sister little Jiu, you are really awesome. How can you use heavenly lightning without forming a seal? Oh right, was it you being repeatedly struck by lightning back at Middle Peak? Junior sister little Jiu, you actually withstood those lightning strikes for more than 10 hours? How did you do it? Junior sister little Jiu, how do you usually cultivate? The lightning element seems to be very rare among cultivators, right? Feng Ming suddenly laughed. Ah, junior sister little Jiu. No wonder sometimes you have to tie a handkerchief on your head. It turns out that your hair was struck by lightning. It must have burnt all your hair off. Ha ha ha. Yun Chuzhou. Chapter 570. The boat of friendship has completely capsized. Yun Chuzhou was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Senior brother bird boy. Get lost. Our friendship is over. The boat of friendship has completely capsized. We'll never see each other again. Senior brother bird boy? Shi Xian and Gung Yi were stunned at first. Then they laughed so hard that tears were about to come out. Junior sister Jiu, you're too talented. Bird boy? Ha ha ha, doesn't Feng Ming mean phoenix song? Feng Ming, I didn't expect your name to mean this. Feng Ming, we'll just call you bird boy from now on. Ha ha ha. Damn, this is so funny. Feng Ming felt that if he could go back in time, he would not reveal that Yun Chuzhou's hair was struck bald. Offending this little gremlin was simply asking for trouble. Seeing Feng Ming's face full of despair, Yun Chuzhou felt a little better. Being struck bald by lightning was a dark moment in her history. Whoever dared to mention it in the future, she would definitely kill them. Feng Ming laughed dryly. Junior sister little Jiu. Senior brother was agitated for a moment. Cough cough, I said the wrong thing. This senior brother bird boy, stop calling that, alright? Otherwise, my painstakingly created image of being a virtuous person will be completely ruined. Yun Chuzhou curled her lips. Why were the people around her so narcissistic? The pretty boy, black chicken head, and senior brother bird were all shameless people. Why couldn't they keep a low profile like her? Junior sister Xiao Jiu, don't bother with bird boy. Answer our questions quickly. Why can you release lightning without forming a seal? Shi Xian looked curious. Yun Chuzhou shrugged her shoulders and spread her hands. I don't know either. Maybe it's because of the heavenly lightning spirit root. Junior sister little Jiu, those 6 hours of lightning strikes at the back of the Middle Peak. Did they hit you? How did you withstand it? Yes, heaven didn't like me, so he wanted to kill me. Unfortunately, I'm still alive and kicking after being struck by lightning. Isn't that annoying? Hee. Yun Chuzhou giggled as she spoke. Originally, Feng Ming and the other two felt a sense of distance from Yun Chuzhou when they saw that her talent was so heaven-defying. However, when they heard Yun Chuzhou's shameless words, they immediately felt that no matter how heaven-defying her talent was, she was just a little girl who jumped around. Thus, that sense of distance dissipated. Yun Chuzhou picked and chose to answer their questions. Then, she secretly adjusted her spiritual power back to the 8th level of spirit enhancement. The corners of Feng Ming and the other two's eyes twitched. This girl was really cruel. She was a classic case of someone pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Anyone who provoked her blindly was simply asking for trouble. The four of them discussed for a while the probability of them being able to dig out rare ores was too low, so they decided to bypass this mine to find another one. Fuck. The quality of the ore here isn't that good, but the mine is really big. We've already walked for almost a day, and we still haven't seen the end. Yun Chuzhou complained. Feng Ming and the other two didn't have the energy to complain anymore. This junior sister little Jiu seemed to not know fatigue and had been skipping around in front of them. They were too embarrassed to say that they were tired, so they could only endure the pain. Their bodies were about to fall apart. As expected, a heavenly spirit route wasn't something that ordinary people like us could compare to. It's not a good idea to go on like this. I'll climb to the top of the mountain to take a look. If it's possible, let's climb over. Yun Chuzhou sought the opinions of Feng Ming and the other two. Little sister Jiu, the surface of this mine is too smooth. I'm afraid it's not that easy to climb. Feng Ming said with some worry. It's okay. I have a secret weapon. You guys just wait and see. Yun Chuzhou said slyly. Chapter 571. I have a secret weapon. Secret weapon? What the hell was the secret weapon? Feng Ming and the other two stared at Yun Chuzhou with their eyes wide open. They saw her take out a few silver threads from her storage ring and stuck them on her feet, knees, elbows, and hands. Then Yun Chuzhou climbed to the top of the mine like a poisonous gecko. Yun Chuzhou stood at the top of the mine and looked around. The mountain range of the mine was winding and extended into the distance. She could not see the end at all. Fortunately, she climbed up and looked around. Otherwise, she might not be able to get out even after 10 days or maybe half a month. Yun Chuzhou looked straight ahead again. There were various mountainous peaks in front of her, so there should be many mines. Damn! The place where they were teleported to was separated from the other mines. Yun Chuzhou inexplicably thought of the Great Void Mirror and the Wuwei Tower's trial. Damn it! Could it be that the ancient mine also had a weapon spirit? Could it be that they were messing with her again? Yun Chuzhou told Feng Ming and the others what she saw and then shouted, I'll throw the secret weapon down for you. Just climb up like how I did. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou stuck the white silk threads onto a few rocks and slid them down. In fact, these white silk threads were the sticky silk nets that were damaged by the leader of the League of Assassins. After Furry retrieved it, it was ready to be rewoven into the sticky web. Yun Chuzhou had an idea just now. Although the sticky silk threads were very sticky, if there was only a small amount, people could still move, and they could be used as climbing tools. Feng Ming and the other two followed what Yun Chuzhou did, and soon were also climbing up. Junior sister little Jiu, is this some kind of demonic beast sticky silk? You're really too smart. But, you actually kept this thing? Feng Ming asked curiously. What's the big deal? As long as the conditions permit, I'll keep any demonic beast I kill, even if it's the lowest grade windblade rabbit. Just being able to sell it for a spirit stone is also a benefit, Yun Chuzhou said very naturally. Feng Ming and the other two looked at each other. They had a new understanding of Yun Chuzhou's degree of greed. This girl was really unscrupulous. She would not let anything go. After the four climbed down from the top of the mine, they saw that the sky was gradually getting dark. They decided to stay at the foot of the mountain for a night and continue their journey tomorrow. Junior sister little Jiu, can you lend us this thread first? I reckon we would have to climb more mines in the future. I will return it to you after we leave this place. Feng Ming felt that the thread was really too useful, and simply a necessary weapon when climbing. SK, why are you asking to lend it? I'll give it to you. Am I such a stingy person? Yun Chuzhou said heroically. The ball of yarn was so angry that it was jumping up and down in its consciousness. Master, those sticky threads belong to me. They belong to me. You're not allowed to give them away. Yun Chuzhou quickly smoothed her hair. Furry, this is called casting a long line to catch a big fish. You have to have a long-term vision when doing things. Perhaps Senior Brother Bird and the others will bring back all the demonic beasts that can spit out threads for you in the future. They always go out for training. There are plenty of opportunities like this. Feng Ming and the other two did not expect Yun Chujiu to be so generous. They could not believe it for a moment. Feng Ming asked tentatively, "Junior sister little Jiu, when you say give, you don't mean sell, right?" Yun Chujiu glared at him. "I don't want money. It's a free gift. Do you understand? In the future, when you go out for training, bring back all the demon beasts that spit silk for me as a form of repayment." When Feng Ming and the other two heard Yun Chujiu's words, they finally believed her. They put away the silk with smiles and started building a bonfire. In the middle of the night, Gung Yi, who was in charge of keeping watch, woke everyone up. "Get up, guys. Listen to that." Chapter 572. The tailless burrowing rat Yun Chujiu rubbed her eyes and heard a sharp demon beast's cry from afar. It sounded like a mouse's cry. The girl's eyes immediately lit up. Stone-eating rats? It must be a stone-eating rat. Ha ha ha, I'm rich. Feng Ming immediately poured a bucket of cold water on her heart. What stone-eating rat? This is the cry of the tailless burrowing rat. Although they are the descendants of the stone-eating rats, their treasure-hunting ability has deteriorated and disappeared. They are only Tier 3 demon beasts. Yun Chujiu curled her lips in disappointment and then yawned. So they're just parallel imports. In that case, I'll go back to sleep. Call me if there's anything. Parallel imports? Although Feng Ming and the other two had never heard of the term parallel import, they understood what Yun Chujiu meant after a while. Feng Ming said, "Junior sister Jiu, don't sleep yet. Listen to this cry. There must be a lot of tailless burrowing rats. Moreover, this cry is so sharp and urgent. Could it be that there are other demon beasts attacking them? Maybe they will come to our side." Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes and said, "Tailless burrowing rats will dig holes and hide once they hear odd sounds. If they are being attacked, wouldn't they go underground? Why would they be making noises instead? Don't tell me they've gone mental." Feng Ming touched his nose. Junior sister Jiu's words seemed to make sense. If they had encountered a strong enemy, they should have gone underground to hide. Why were they making so much noise? It was really strange. However, their strangeness did not last long. The tailless burrowing rat's cries were getting closer and closer. It was obvious that it was running toward them. Yun Chujiu rolled her eyes. "Senior brothers, let's climb to the top of the mine. We can see the situation below with the help of the moonlight. If it isn't good, we can still run away." Feng Ming and the other two nodded. At that moment, the three of them felt that rather than saying they were taking care of Yun Chujiu, it was more accurate to say that Yun Chujiu was taking care of them. It was really embarrassing. Not long after the three of them climbed to the top of the mine, they saw a large group of tailless burrowing rat running from afar. Their silver fur shimmered under the moonlight, and the large group made it look like a wave. Strange, there aren't any demon beasts chasing after them. Why are they running? Gung Yi said, puzzled. Feng Ming frowned slightly. They don't look like they're being chased but rather chasing something. Huh. Look, there's another tailless burrowing rat in front of them, but its fur is black. Everyone followed Feng Ming's finger and looked in the direction. Sure enough, there was a black tailless burrowing rat running desperately in front of them, but its fur color was too close to the color of the gravel on the ground, so they did not notice it at the beginning. Squeak squeak. Squeak squeak. The group of rats let out a sharp cry. The black rat realized that there was a mine in front of it. It wanted to turn around and escape, but it was blocked by several other rats. The group displayed their sharp teeth and approached the black rat. Their sharp teeth reflected a cold light under the moonlight, which was particularly horrifying. The black rat let out a few helpless growls. Finally, it stomped on the ground with its hind legs and leaped up the stone wall with all its strength. It was prepared to climb up, but its claws were unable to climb up the smooth stone wall. After climbing a few feet, it slid and fell to the ground. The rats let out a sharp cry as if they were mocking its futile struggle. A few larger silver rats were prepared to pounce on it and bite it to death. At that moment, purple lightning struck down from the mountaintop. Chapter 573. Little Black Rat who shared the same fate. The tailless burrowing rats were originally quite timid. When they saw the purple lightning striking down, They did not even bother to figure out what was going on. They thought that it was the heavenly lightning that had descended from the sky, and immediately fled in all directions. Not long after, they disappeared without a trace. Junior sister little Jiao, why are you helping that black rat? Feng Ming asked in confusion. It was better to avoid unnecessary trouble in the ancient mine. Although the tailless burrowing rats were relatively weak, there were hundreds of them in this group. Offending them would not be a wise move. Yun Chujiu snorted coldly. Why are those tailless burrowing rats chasing after this little black mouse? It's because its fur color is black and is different from theirs. I can't stand this kind of discrimination against the color of others' skin. So what if it's black? I think black is low-key luxurious and classy. After Yun Chujiu finished speaking, she slowly climbed down the mountain. Feng Ming saw the dumbfounded faces of Gung Yi and Shi Xian. Feng Ming winked at the two of them, and said in a low voice, when junior sister little Jiao first came to Spirit Radiant Sect, she was really dark too. I guess she felt pity for this little black rat because she thought it was like her. Only then did it click for Gung Yi and Shi Xian. They followed Feng Ming and climbed down the mountain. Seeing the four of them climb down, the black tailless burrowing rat turned around and ran far away. This little heartless thing. If I've helped you, can you at least bow to me before leaving? Yun Chujiu muttered and then went to her sleeping spot. Yes, she fell asleep. Feng Ming and the other two looked at each other. How could she fall asleep just like that? Junior sister Jiao was really ambitious. Was she not afraid that the rats would come back for revenge? Reality proved that the three of them were thinking too much. Those burrowing rats were almost scared to death. How could they dare to come back for revenge? Moreover, they were only Tier 3 demonic beasts. Their intelligence was very low, and they had not learned how to distinguish certain things. They would never have thought that humans could actually use purple heavenly lightning. The next morning, the four of them had a simple breakfast and discussed their next step. After some discussion, the four of them decided to head south since it looked like a mountain range, which meant there would be a lot of mines. After walking for about half a day, they saw a few people digging in the distance. Those people also noticed Yun Chujiu and the others. One of the women waved at Feng Ming and the others. Senior brother Feng Ming. This is the red gold mine. Come over quickly. The four people looked over and saw that the person who spoke was Wu Yinyu. Beside her were Zhuo Piaoyu, Ding Lang, and three other male disciples from the West Peak. Senior brothers, don't bring my matters up to avoid any complications, Yun Chujiu said to the three people in a low voice. Feng Ming and the other two nodded. They all understood. After all, the heavenly thunder root spirit was truly unbelievable. It was always better to keep it a low profile. Senior brother Feng Ming, are you guys coming from the north? Are there any valuable ores over there? Although Wu Yinyu was speaking to Feng Ming, her eyes glanced at Shi Xian who was at his side. Shi Xian felt goosebumps all over as she looked at him. He hurriedly turned to face the side. There were only worthless iron or concentrates over there. You guys are quite lucky, Feng Ming said with a smile. Wu Yinyu saw that Zhuo Piaoyu kept winking at her and said with a smile, Senior brother Feng Ming, we're all disciples of the same sect. There's no such thing as you and me. Anyway, it's such a big mine. You guys can mine here with us. Feng Ming nodded. Thank you very much. Junior sister little Jiao, let's pick a spot and start digging. Wait. Senior brother Feng Ming, the three of you can stay, but Yun Chujiu can forget about it. Her spiritual power is so low. If she encounters an attack by demonic beasts, we have to send someone to protect her. Since she has the guts to come to the trial, then she should go find the mineral vein by herself. Chapter 574. Am giving the steamed bun fortune-telling. Feng Ming frowned. Junior sister Wu, since that's the case, then we'll leave with junior sister little Jiao. You guys continue digging. After saying that, Feng Ming prepared to leave with Yun Chujiu and the other two. Zhuo Piaoyu glared at Wu Yinyu, and she said gently, Senior brother Feng Ming, junior sister Wu is joking. Although junior sister Yun's spiritual power is slightly weaker, she's still a junior from the same sect. How could we dislike her? You guys can all stay. The quality of the red gold mine here is pretty good. Although Wu Yinyu was extremely angry in her heart, she said with a smile on her face, That's right. I'm joking. All of you can stay. Feng Ming saw that the rest of them did not raise any objections, so he said with a smile, then thank you very much. Feng Ming brought Yun Chuzhou and the other two to an area a few feet away from Zhuo Piaoyu and the others. They chose a spot and started digging. The amount of red gold or there was aplenty. They found red gold or after just barely digging a couple times. Yun Chuzhou cursed in her heart. Fuck, this was the correct way to play in this ancient mine. They must have been tricked previously. Zhuo Piaoyu saw Feng Ming and Yun Chuzhou chatting and laughing while digging. Her heart was filled with jealousy and she wished she could kill Yun Chuzhou with a hoe. It was all because of this bitch. Not only did she snatch senior brother Feng Ming away, but she also made her master treat her more and more coldly. Sooner or later she would kill her. Zhuo Piaoyu was absent-minded and was hit on the back of her hand by a flying stone debris. Immediately blood flowed out. Ding Lang, who was beside Zhuo Piaoyu, had a glint in his eyes, and he said to Zhuo Piaoyu, Junior sister Zhuo, your hand is bleeding. Come with me to the side. I will help you apply some medicine and bandage it. Zhuo Piaoyu nodded and followed Ding Lang to the side. Junior sister Zhuo, do you wish for Yun Chuzhou to die? Ding Lang said in a low voice. Zhuo Piaoyu was shocked. Just as she was about to deny it, Ding Lang continued, I also wish for her to die. Such a person should never have appeared in the Spirit Radiance sect. She has taken everything that should have belonged to us. Zhuo Piaoyu was stunned. Senior brother Ding, what do you mean? Junior sister Zhuo, let's not beat around the bush. This is our best chance. I have the poisonous red pill here. I just need to find an opportunity for her to eat it, and she will die from the poison. Besides, no one else understands pharmacology except for me. I will say that Yun Chuzhou was bitten by a poisonous ant and died from the poison. Then we will think of a way to get rid of her body. At that time, even if the sect investigates, it will not be our fault. A trace of viciousness flashed in Ding Lang's eyes. Zhuo Piaoyu did not hesitate and immediately said, Good. This bitch is so greedy. During dinner, I will think of a way to sneak the poisonous red pill into her food. Give me the pill. Ding Lang nodded and took out a poisonous red pill from his storage ring and handed it to Zhuo Piaoyu. This pill's medicinal properties are very strong. As long as she eats it, she will definitely die. After the two of them finished discussing, they pretended as if nothing had happened and returned to mining. Yun Chuzhou glanced at them without batting an eyelid, and the corners of her mouth curled up into a cold smile. During dinner, Zhuo Piaoyu took out a basin of buns from her storage ring and handed it out to everyone. Everyone is hungry, right? I bought this bun at the Jusheng building in Linghua City. It tastes very good. Everyone try it. Everyone took the steamed bun and thanked her. Only Yun Chuzhou held the steamed bun and looked at it over and over again, but refused to eat it. Zhuo Piaoyu was extremely anxious. She squeezed out a smile and asked, Junior sister Yun, why aren't you eating it? Are you not hungry, or do you not like eating steamed buns? If you don't like eating steamed buns, I still have some dumplings here. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, I'm giving the steamed buns fortune-telling. Chapter 575. A new explanation to harbor evil intentions PFFT. Feng Ming was drinking water when he heard Yun Chuzhou's words, and the water in his mouth spurted out. Junior sister little Jiu, what nonsense are you talking about? How would you give a steamed bun fortune-telling? Fiske, you don't understand, do you? How did to harbor evil intentions come about? Yun Chuzhou looked at Feng Ming with disdain. Evil intentions? What does evil intentions have to do with a bun? Feng Ming raised his eyebrows and asked in confusion. Evil intentions are hidden in the bun. This is called evil intentions, so I have to look at this bun before eating it. Yun Chuzhou said as she glanced at Zhuo Piaoyu from the corner of her eyes. As expected, Zhuo Piaoyu's face turned red and she said angrily, Junior sister Yun, I gave you a bun out of kindness. It's fine if you don't eat it, but you actually slandered me for poisoning it. If you don't eat it, then give it back to me. After Zhuo Piaoyu finished speaking, she went over to snatch the bun from Yun Chuzhou's hands. Yun Chuzhou moved to the side and said with a smile, Senior sister Zhuo, why are you reacting so much? I was just joking with senior brother Feng Ming. Feng Ming also stood up to mediate the situation. Yes, that's right. Junior sister little Jiu was just joking with me. That's not how you would explain that idiom anyway. She was just spouting nonsense. Junior sister little Jiu, hurry up and eat the bun. Stop joking around. When Zhuo Piaoyu saw this, she could only glare at Yun Chuzhou and sit back in the distance. She cursed in her heart. Slut, don't be so proud. As long as you eat the buns, you're dead. We all ate the buns, but only you would be poisoned. You can't blame me. Yun Chuzhou held the buns and said with a smile, this bun was given to me by senior sister Zhua. I can't bear to eat it just like that. I'll keep it and eat it slowly in the future. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou kept the bun into her storage ring. Then, she took out a small alchemy furnace and slowly boiled water. She then poured meat slices into it. Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang's expressions changed a few times. If Yun Chuzhou brought that bun back to the Spirit Radiance sect to eat it, Elder Qi would definitely discover that she had been poisoned by the poisonous red pill once she died. That would be bad. Zhuo Piaoyu found an excuse and called Ding Lang to the side. Senior brother Ding, that bitch is really too cunning. I don't know if she discovered something, but she didn't eat the steamed bun. If she goes back and then eats it, that would be bad. She might not have discovered anything. Perhaps she just wants to eat hot pot. It doesn't matter. Anyway, there's plenty of time. I still have two here. It's not too late for you to find an opportunity to act. Ding Lang handed Zhuo Piaoyu 2 more poisonous red pills. Zhuo Piaoyu took the pills and put them away. Only then did she and Ding Lang return to their resting place. At night, when they were resting, Feng Ming moved the bonfire away and waved at Yun Chuzhou. Junior sister little Jiu, this place is pretty warm from the fire. You can sleep here tonight. Thank you, senior brother Feng Ming. Then I'll sleep first. This day has been too tiring. Yun Chuzhou laid on the bedding and fell asleep happily. Wu Yinyu and Zhuo Piaoyu were so angry that they were about to die. Fortunately, Lu Shi and the other 2 disciples imitated Feng Ming and moved the other bonfire away so that the 2 of them could lie on it. Zhuo Piaoyu tried to put the other 2 poison red pills into other foods. Without exception, Yun Chuzhou put them into her storage ring. She refused to eat them. Zhuo Piaoyu was so angry that she almost vomited blood. She had to talk to Ding Lang again. Senior brother Ding, this bitch is too smart. What should we do next? We mustn't let her go back alive. We will act according to the situation. Her spiritual power is the weakest, so if demonic beasts attack us, think of a way to lure them to her side, Ding Lang said viciously. Chapter 576. What are you resting for? Perhaps the heavens heard Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang's thoughts because demonic beasts came knocking on their door that night. Dozens of mine wolves were drooling as they surrounded the crowd. Wu Yinyu was so frightened that her face turned pale. Oh my god, there are so many wolves. We can't possibly beat them at all. We'd better run quickly. Can you run faster than these wolves? We can only fight. Zhuo Piaoyu said. There was a hint of excitement in her voice. Yun Chuzhou, your time to die has come. At such a dangerous time, it was normal if they could not protect her. Once this bitch died, she would take out the explosive talisman given to her by her father and scare the wolves away. At that time, she would say that she was nervous and forgot about the explosive talisman. No one could blame her. Since you insist on fighting, there are 60 mine wolves in total. Each of you take down 6. Whoever that's not doing well, just wait to be eaten by the mine wolves. Lu Shi was Zhuo Piaoyu's loyal admirer. He had long disliked Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou glanced at him. Each of us takes 6? Do you mean that no one should help each other? That's right. Since you have chosen to come to this trial, you must be aware of the dangers you encounter. No one has the obligation to save anyone. If you can't beat them, you can only blame yourself for not cultivating enough. Lu Shi said meaningfully. Although it was very difficult to deal with 6 mine wolves, and they might even lose half of their lives, they could still rely on spirit tools and talismans. However, Yun Chuzhou was dead for sure. Alright, if that's the case, then well, do as you say. Each of us will have 6 mining wolves. Except for senior brother Feng Ming and the other 2, whoever asks me for help is a slow bastard, Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Lu Shi could not help but sneer. Don't worry, even if I, Lu Shi, are bitten to death by the mining wolves, I won't ask you to help. You really overestimate yourself speaking without fear like that. The first one to be bitten to death will be you. Trash at the 8th level of spirit enhancement. If Feng Ming and the other two had heard Lu Shi's words a few days ago, they would have been very angry, and would even have accused him of not caring about the friendship between fellow disciples. However, after they found out that Yun Chuzhou had the heavenly thunder root spirit, they felt that Lu Shi was like a clown jumping up and down after hearing his words. It was truly laughable. They were just waiting to be slapped in the face later. Shu Piaoyu saw that Feng Ming and the other two did not say anything to defend Yun Chuzhou, and she was secretly delighted. Regardless of how well he usually takes care of Yun Chuzhou, he still abandoned her at such a critical moment. It seemed that senior brother Feng Ming didn't actually care about her at all. Yun Chuzhou, just wait to be eaten by the mining wolves. At that moment, the mining wolves had already surrounded them. Looking at the group of people in front of them, their deep blue eyes were filled with greed. Let's attack at the same time and split up the wolf pack. Each of us will deal with 6. Shu Piaoyu was afraid that Feng Ming and the other two would go back on their words, so she took out her sword and slashed at the mine wolves while shouting. Lu Shi and the others also jumped into the wolf pack and began fighting the wolves. Junior sister Little Jiu, do you need our help? Although Feng Ming felt that Yun Chuzhou, this little pervert, did not need anyone else, he still asked. Senior brother Feng Ming, since you are so kind to ask me, I am also embarrassed to not accept your kindness. You 3 protect me in the middle, I will take a rest first. Yun Chuzhou said shamelessly. What are you resting for? You must be playing some dirty tricks again, right? Although Feng Ming and the other two were cursing in their hearts, they still protected Yun Chuzhou and started to fight the wolves that pounced on them. Shu Piaoyu saw this scene while fighting and was so angry that she wanted to vomit blood. Finally, she exploded. Yun Chuzhou, are you that shameless? Chapter 577. I am shameless, that's right, Yun Chuzhou. You're just a burden. If I were you, I would just hit my head against the wall and die. Shameless. Wu Yanya's face contorted as she agreed. Why is she being protected in the middle while we fight to the death? This isn't fair. Yun Chuzhou smiled sweetly at them. What you guys said makes sense. You should do your own things. It's not right for me to do this, but I'm just that shameless. What do you guys want? Feng Ming and the other two stumbled and almost got bitten by the mine wolves. Yun Chuzhou glared at them. You have to focus when you're fighting the enemy. Your ability to resist interference is too weak. Be careful in the future. Feng Ming and the other two really wanted to turn around and strangle her to death, but they did not know what she was planning. They could only continue to kill the mine wolves silently. As time passed, the pack of mine wolves gradually gained the upper hand. Shu Piaoyu wanted to use the explosive talisman a few times, but when she saw Yun Chuzhou being protected tightly, she gritted her teeth and put it back. After a while, senior brother Feng Ming and the others could not hold on any longer. Naturally, they would give up protecting Yun Chuzhou. When Yun Chuzhou died, she would then take out the explosive talisman. At that moment, Yun Chuzhou giggled. You guys are almost done fighting. It's time for me to stretch my legs. Senior brother Feng Ming, you guys move aside. Leave the 20 over mine wolves to me. Shu Piaoyu and the others sneered. This Yun Chuzhou is practically crazy, and she expects them to hand it to her. In less than 15 minutes, you would be eaten by the mine wolves until there's nothing left. Damn it. It would be good if she just died. Boom. Boom. Yun Chuzhou was about to show off her power and blind Shu Piaoyu and the rest when the sky suddenly rang with the sound of thunder. Following the sound of thunder, several bolts of lightning struck down from the sky. Yun Chuzhou subconsciously thought that it was the lightning that struck her, but she realized that these bolts of lightning were silver in color and struck very casually. They were not coming for her. It was just a thunderstorm. However, the lightning shocked the wolf pack. Feng Ming and the others seized the opportunity and repelled them. Yun Chuzhou sighed regretfully. It seems that they didn't give me a chance to attack. What a pity. Shu Piaoyu and the others were so angry that they gritted their teeth. What did it mean to benefit from something but to pretend otherwise? What did it mean to be shameless? She was. At that moment, Yun Chujo took out a self-made waterproof tent from her storage ring. Senior brothers, quickly come in and take shelter from the rain. The people outside should also quickly find a place to take shelter from the rain. Otherwise, if someone does something wrong, they might be struck by lightning. Following Yun Chujia's words, a bolt of heavenly lightning coincidentally struck not far away. Zhuo Piaoyu's expression suddenly changed, and she quickly found a protruding rock to take shelter from the rain. When the lightning struck, Wu Yinyu happened to see Zhuo Piaoyu's terrified expression. Her heart moved. Could it be that Yun Chuzhou, that trash, was telling the truth? Did Zhuo Piaoyu do something wrong? Could it be that the steamed bun that day was really poisonous? Wu Yinyu was a person who had evil intentions but no guts. She was very good at bluffing, but when it came to the real thing, she retreated. She did not expect Zhuo Piaoyu to really poison Yun Chuzhou. Looking at Zhuo Piaoyu's sinister expression, her heart was somewhat creeped out. Wu Yinyu thought of the beautiful snake that Yun Chuzhou had mentioned. No matter how she looked at it, she felt that Zhuo Piaoyu's eyes were full of malice. She secretly made up her mind. After returning this time, she had to stay away from Zhuo Piaoyu no matter what. Who knows when she would be harmed? It was really too scary. Chapter 578. Beautiful Su, did you miss me? Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled outside, but it was very lively inside Yun Chujia's tent. Yun Chuzhou placed an illuminating pearl on the top of the tent, took out some cards, and started playing with Feng Ming and the other two. Junior sister Little Jiu, why didn't you make a move just now? Shi Xian asked Yun Chuzhou curiously. It's nothing. I just wanted to look cool. Who would have thought that heavenly lightning would help us before I even made a move? Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. She wanted to take the opportunity to see what Zhuo Piaoyu and the others were planning. The poison pill did not work, so was she trying to use the beast to kill her? That's right. It's such a pity. I can imagine how shocked junior sister Zhuo and the others would be if junior sister Little Jiu used the Little Jiu Thunderbolt. It's such a pity that you were interrupted by the heavenly lightning. Gung Yi said with regret. He finally understood what Yun Chuzhou meant by pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger. The feeling of face-slapping must be very refreshing. However, although it felt good to pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger, the feeling of being misunderstood and looked down on was not great either. One needed to have a strong mentality to bear it. Only someone as thick-skinned as junior sister Little Jiu could bear it. He would have long broken down if it was him. The rain lasted the whole night. It was not until the next morning that the sky cleared up again. Everyone packed up and continued mining. Wu Yinyu did not mock Yun Chuzhou that day, which was rare. She just mined silently. Zhuo Piaoyu was thinking about how to kill Yun Chuzhou, so she did not pay too much attention to it. When everyone was mining, a group of people walked over from afar. When everyone turned around to look, they felt a little uneasy. The people who came were actually wearing uniforms from Heavenly Gate sect. There were almost 100 of them, and the leader was Su Yanran. Yun Chujia's heart sank. They were most likely coming for her. Otherwise, everyone would have scattered once they entered the ancient mine, so it would have been impossible for them to gather like that. The Heavenly Gate sect was not there to mine. They were most likely here to kill her. That Du Gai really hated her to the core. Senior brother Feng Ming, you guys don't have to care about me. Just leave. I have a way to escape. Yun Chuzhou whispered to Feng Ming. How could Feng Ming agree? Junior sister Little Jiu. The sect leader ordered the three of us to protect you. How could we leave you behind? Don't say such things anymore. No matter what Yun Chuzhou said, Feng Ming and the other two did not agree. Just as Yun Chuzhou was about to continue persuading them, Su Yanran led her people and surrounded them. When Yun Chuzhou saw Su Yanran, her heart was moved. At Wuwei Tower previously, Su Yanran was still at the first level of the spirit cultivator realm. She did not expect that in a short period of time, she had advanced to the fourth level of the spirit cultivator realm. How could her cultivation speed be so fast? Yun Chuzhou, we meet again. A cold smile appeared on the corner of Su Yanran's mouth. This time, Yun Chuzhou, you would not be able to escape even if you had wings. Ah, Beauty Su, did you miss me? Why are there strong feelings of longing in your words? Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. I do want something. I want you to die. Kill them all. Leave no one alive. Su Yenran raised her hand and ordered the disciples of the Heavenly Gates sect behind her. Wait! Wait! Junior Sister Su, our Spirit Radiance sect, and the Heavenly Gates sect have always had a good relationship. Why do you have to kill all of us? Fengming said with a smile, trying to stall for time. Su Yenran glanced at him, her eyes flickered. Alright, since senior brother Fengming brought this up, I will give you all a chance. Let's see if you can seize it. As long as you kill Yun Chuzhou, I will let all of you leave. Otherwise, all of you will stay and be buried with Yun Chuzhou. Chapter 579. Yun Chuzhou, end this on your own. As soon as Su Yenran finished speaking, Shuopeiyu could not wait to ask Junior Sister Su, do you mean what you said? If we kill Yun Chuzhou, will you let us go? Su Yenran smiled coldly and nodded. If you kill Yun Chuzhou and I don't let you go, it'll be struck to death by heavenly lightning. It'll give you half an hour to decide. Su Yenran laughed coldly in her heart. Compared to her killing Yun Chuzhou, letting them kill each other was more beneficial to Heavenly Gate sect. The Spirit Radiant sect would definitely fall into conflict because of this. Moreover, if news of their fellow disciples killing each other spread, their reputation would also be ruined. Shuopeiyu and Ding Lang exchanged a look, and then said with a rather conflicted expression, Junior Sister Yun, now that things have come to this, and although there are some things that shouldn't be said, I must be an evil person for the sake of the lives of the senior and junior brothers. Right now we are outnumbered. The Heavenly Gate sect has a total of 100 people, and there's only 10 of us. No matter what, we can't escape. Since they are coming for you alone, then you should go. We will avenge you in the future. Ding Lang sighed. Junior Sister Yun, this is also forced by the situation. Just take it that you want to help everyone. Don't make us do it, just kill yourselves. Junior Sister Zhua, Senior Brother Ding, are you crazy? The first rule of our Spirit Radiance sect is that we are not allowed to sell out the sect. Have you all forgotten? Fengming did not expect the two of them to actually say such things. He looked at Shuopeiyu with disappointment. Junior Sister Little Zhou previously said that she was a hypocritical person, but he did not believe it. He thought that Junior Sister Little Zhou was just biased against her. He did not expect that she would actually betray her fellow disciples. It was really disappointing. Shuopeiyu saw Fengming's disappointed and disgusted expression, and her heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. However, since she had already said it, she had to kill Yun Chuzhou today. At most, she would just have to think of a way to justify it in the future. As long as Yun Chuzhou was gone, she would definitely be able to make senior brother Fengming fall in love with her again. Senior brother Fengming, do you think that I am willing to be such an evil person? However, which is more important? Yun Chuzhou's life alone and the lives of the 9 of us? Could it be that just because of her, all 9 of us will lose our lives? I'm forced to do this because I have no other choice. Shuopeiyu cried out. That's right. Once Yun Chuzhou, this trash of a person, dies, then so be it. Do you want us to be buried with her? Lu Shur said with a cold smile. It would be great for trash like her to die. The other 2 male disciples of the West Peak were also Shuopeiyu's admirers. They said one after another, Senior Brother Fengming, we're not betraying our fellow disciples, but using the smallest sacrifice in exchange for more lives. Moreover, Yun Chuzhou's spiritual power is so low. Even if she doesn't die this time, danger lurks everywhere in this ancient mine. Sooner or later something will happen. Why shouldn't she sacrifice herself and save us? Shuopeiyu was very satisfied when she saw that both of them were speaking up for her. She looked at Wu Yanyu and asked, Junior Sister Wu, what do you think? Shuopeiyu felt that Wu Yanyu would definitely help her to convince Fengming. This way they would have an advantage in numbers. With 6 against 4, senior brother Fengming could only agree with them and kill Yun Chuzhou. Wu Yanyu was deep in thought with her head lowered when she suddenly heard Shuopeiyu asking her. She was stunned for a moment before she stammered. This? Whatever works. I have no objections. I will abide by senior brother Fengming. Shuopeiyu thought that she had heard wrongly and asked again with a cold face, Junior Sister Wu, what did you say? Chapter 580. I will commit suicide. I don't want to live anymore. Zhuo Piaoyu stared at Wu Yanyu as if she had been poisoned. Wu Yanyu shrunk her neck and stammered, I said, I will abide. I will abide by senior brother Feng Ming. Zhuo Piaoyu went forward and slapped Wu Yanyu. Have you lost your mind? I will make you clear your mind. Wu Yanyu covered her face. She could not believe that Zhuo Piaoyu would slap her in public. Was this still the Zhuo Piaoyu who was known for her gentleness and kindness? Lu Shi and the other two did not expect Zhuo Piaoyu to actually make a move just like that. They were shocked by the viciousness on her face. Zhuo Piaoyu also felt a little regretful after the beating. She immediately put on an angry expression and said, Junior Sister Wu, I'm sorry. This is an important matter. I was afraid that you made the wrong decision at that moment. I was really too anxious just now, so I hit you. You understand, right? At that moment, the more Wu Yanyu looked at Zhuo Piaoyu, the more frightened she felt. She did not dare to talk back. She shook her head and then lowered her head without saying a word. Senior brother Feng Ming, the time is almost up. If you can't bear to do it, move aside. I'll be the villain. Zhuo Piaoyu had already torn off her usually gentle and kind mask. Since they have arrived at that juncture, then Yun Chuzhou must be killed. Feng Ming protected Yun Chuzhou behind him. Zhuo Piaoyu, I was blind in the past. I thought you were gentle and kind. You're vicious. You actually betrayed your fellow disciples for your own safety. Get lost. Don't even think about touching junior sister little Jiao. Ding Lang gave Lu Shi and the other two a look when he saw this. The four of them suddenly attacked Feng Ming. Seeing this, Gang Yi and Shi Xian quickly protected Yun Chuzhou in the middle with Feng Ming. Are you guys rebelling? Ding Lang said viciously. We only want Yun Chuzhou's life. You guys get out of the way quickly, or don't blame us for not letting you off either. Ding Lang was furious. None of these people were good. They had always been in the limelight, so it was good to take the opportunity to kill them all. When the time comes, I will put the blame onto Heavenly Gates sect. And the #1 successor disciple of the Spirit Radiance sect would be me, Ding Lang. Su Yanran looked at the internal strife within the Spirit Radiance sect, and a disdainful sneer appeared on her face. She did not expect that with just a few words of provocation, Zhuo Piaoyu, this idiot, would really make a move. Very well. Even if Zhuo Piaoyu and the others were not Feng Ming's match, she would help Yun Chuzhou one last time. Yun Chuzhou must die. Stop. Stop fighting. I have something to say. Yun Chuzhou shouted loudly. Zhuo Piaoyu took a step back and said with a sneer, Yun Chuzhou, what do you have to say? Are you going to commit suicide? How would a shameless bitch like you sacrifice yourself to help us? That's right. In order for you to live, I will commit suicide. Yun Chuzhou said lightly. Junior Sister Jiao, are you crazy? Don't worry, we will not hand you over, Feng Ming roared. Shi Xian and Gang Yi also said, that's right. Junior Sister Jiao. At worst, we'll just fight it out. Killing one is to break even, killing two is to profit. Yun Chuzhou shook her head. Zhuo Piaoyu is right. I can't be so selfish. I can't harm you guys just because of me. Ding Lang, don't you have a poison pill on you? Give me one. I'll take it and kill myself. At least my corpse will be whole. Ding Lang's eyes flickered. He took out a pill from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chuzhou. This is the 7-kill pill. Once you take it, you'll die immediately. Yun Chuzhou took the pill and said to Su Yanran, if I take the poison and commit suicide, you won't go back on your word, right? Su Yanran sneered. Who knows if you're acting? You can take the poison and commit suicide if you want, but take this poisonous feather pill as well. Chapter 581. Yun Chuzhou's body was missing. Su Yanran threw a pill to Yun Chuzhou, and Feng Ming jumped over to snatch it away. He did not expect Yun Chuzhou to be faster than him, so he took the pill and stuffed it into his mouth. Junior sister little Jiao. You're too much. Feng Ming hugged Yun Chuzhou, who had collapsed on the ground, and cried out. Shi Xian and Gang Yi clenched their fists. Although they did not have a deep relationship with Yun Chuzhou, they had fought side by side along the way. Yun Chuzhou was lively, cute, and resourceful. They had already treated Yun Chuzhou as their sister. The scene before them, it was really hard for them to accept. As a 3-foot-tall man, they actually let their junior sister commit suicide to save their lives. How could they have the face to continue living? Feng Ming's eyes were bloodshot. He hugged Yun Chujio and shouted, "Junior sister little Jiu, I won't let you die pointlessly. I will kill a few people to accompany you in death. Take your time. We will accompany you to the Netherworld Road later." Yun Chujio held Feng Ming's hand with one hand and said weakly, "You guys go. Otherwise I will die with my eyes wide open. Go." Feng Ming was slightly stunned for a moment, and then he shouted, "Junior sister little Jiu, don't worry, whether it's Shuo Piaoyu and the other scum of his sect or the Heaven sect, senior brother will kill them and avenge you." Feng Ming turned around and looked at Su Yanran with his red eyes. "Su Yanran, junior sister little Jiu has already forfeited her life by taking the poison. We can at least take her body with us, right?" Su Yanran sneered. "Of course. We will return the corpse to your Linghua sect, but not now. We still have to bring it back as evidence. You guys can leave. You have 30 seconds. Otherwise, don't blame me for changing my mind." As soon as Su Yanran finished speaking, Shuo Piaoyu and the others could not wait to escape, afraid that Su Yanran would change her mind. Su Yanran's face revealed a look of disdain. There was actually such dishonorable scum in the Linghua sect. The Linghua sect was so mediocre. Shi Xian and Gang Yi looked at Feng Ming. They thought that Feng Ming would definitely not leave like this. At the very least, he would take junior sister little Jiu's body away. They did not expect Feng Ming to grit his teeth and say, "Let's go. We can't let junior sister little Jiu's sacrifice be in vain." Shi Xian and Gang Yi were stunned. However, they saw that Feng Ming seemed to have unintentionally touched the storage ring on his hand. The two of them revealed an expression of common understanding. "All right. We will have our revenge no matter how long it takes. Let's go." Su Yanran saw Feng Ming and the other two leave as well. She looked at Yun Chujio's body on the ground and could not help but sneer. "Yun Chujio, you failed to the point your fellows actually gave up on retrieving your body. Don't worry. In the end, I will return it to the Linghua sect. After all, you were forced to die by your fellow disciples. When the time comes, I will let the entire Qingxian continent know what happened. I will let you die with incomparable glory." "Junior sister Su, where is the body? Oh my god, there's really nothing left. Where did it go? Could it be that Yun Chujio turned into a ghost and ran away?" Su Yanran was stunned. Yun Chujio's body was indeed missing from the ground in front of her. The corners of her mouth curled into a cold smile. Then she took out an array disc from her storage ring. After activating it, everyone saw Yun Chujio quickly climbing up the mine. "Yun Chujio, I didn't expect you to have a concealment talisman. However, you won't be able to escape today. Attack together and grind them to dust." Su Yanran said as she threw 8 wind blades at Yun Chujio's back. Chapter 582. Did not have such a way to defeat a beast. Following Su Yanran's orders, all kinds of spiritual power attacks were launched at Yun Chujio. Fireballs, wind blades, and water arrows all flew toward Yun Chujio's back. Yun Chujio was so angry that she was about to explode. Damn it! How could that little bitch, Su Yanran, have such a good treasure? It actually allowed her to see through the concealment talisman. If she had the chance, she would definitely steal it. Little Black was almost about to cry from her master's stupidity. What the fuck was going on? Why are you still thinking about treasure? Hurry up and run for your life. Fortunately, Yun Chujio had a lot of defensive spiritual artifacts on her. Most of them were shattered, and she finally climbed to the top of the mine. She waved at Su Yanran. "Beauty Su, I'm not playing with you anymore. You can play by yourself. See you later. Ha ha ha." Su Yanran was so angry that her face turned green. She jumped up and was about to climb up the stone wall to chase after Yun Chujio. But because the stone wall was very smooth, she kept slipping. Moreover, this ancient mine prohibited flying, so she could not fly on her sword. "Junior sister Su, what should we do next?" A male disciple from the Heaven's Gate sect asked. "Use tools to cut out grooves in the stone wall. Well, climb up. I don't believe that we can't catch her. If we meet anyone from the Linghua sect, we'll capture them and use them as a hostage." I want to see if Yun Chujo will leave anyone behind. Su Yanran secretly hated her own carelessness. Next time she would directly chop off Yun Chujia's head and see what other tricks she could play. However, it was really strange. Why wasn't she poisoned to death? She must have done something. This bitch was really treacherous. Yun Chujo originally wanted to wait for Su Yanran and the others to leave before secretly making her move. She didn't expect that Su Yanran would actually be prepared to climb up and chase after her. She could only run all the way south. I originally thought that this concealment talisman was pretty useful. I did not expect it to not be omnipotent, but it can be discovered by those above the 5th level of the spirit sovereign realm. What a useless thing. Zhuo Piaoyu, Ding Lang and those bastards. When I return to the Linghua sect, I will not let any of them off. She originally thought that it would be too beneath her to argue with trash like them. She did not expect that they would take advantage of her. That Wu Yenyu is still alright. She is not rotten to the core. When the time comes, I will just let her go. Little Black, why are you a bird? If you were a scarlet tiger, gale wolf or something like that, would you be able to carry me and run? Once we arrive at the training grounds, we will be banned from flying. There is no place for you to be useful. Yun Chujo grumbled as she ran, and Little Black was unhappy. Master, there is no way you can defeat a beast like this. I am clearly a bird. Even if you make me turn into a tiger, I will not be able to change. Why don't you take in more beasts that can only be ridden? Just let me die of grief. Sigh, how did I end up with such a cruel master? The corner of Yun Chujia's eyes twitched. Alright. I said the wrong thing. However, if there's a chance, I really have to tame a demonic beast that can be ridden. When the time comes, you can also take a ride. Elder Shao's tiger isn't bad, but its level is a little low. Why don't I return to the Linghua sect and pick one out of the few mighty elephants? However, they're a little big, so they move too slowly. Little Black curled its lips and scoffed at Yun Chujo. She spoke as if it were an easy thing to do. The mighty elephants had a violent temper, so it would be strange if they could recognize her as their master. However, this master of his was very cruel. Perhaps he would be able to find a good Mount Demon beast. When that time came, he would also be able to show off. Chapter 583. A big-hearted person. From that day onwards, Yun Chujo began her miserable days filled with having to run for her life. Since the concealment talisman was ineffective, Yun Chujo simply stopped using it. Although Su Yanran and the others had the numerical advantage, their spiritual power was uneven. Yun Chujia's boots also increased her speed via magical means, so she was easily able to maintain a safe distance from them. This pair of boots that the pretty boy gave me is really useful. I wonder if the pretty boy has seen his master or not. I can't my sound transmission talisman in here either. Otherwise, I can flirt with the pretty boy. Little Black was already powerless to complain. His master was really a big-hearted person. There were so many pursuers behind her, yet she still had the mood to think about these things. Yun Chujo also met a few groups of disciples who were mining. If they were from the Skyblade sect and Bishao Palace sect, she would not bother with them. If they were from the Linghua sect, she would tell them that the Heaven sect wanted to kill disciples from the Linghua sect and to quickly hide. When those disciples saw that Yun Chujo was running faster than a rabbit, although they were skeptical, they avoided getting in Yun Chujia's way and hid. Therefore, despite running such a long way, Su Yanran did not encounter a single disciple of the Linghua sect. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth and chased after Yun Chujo relentlessly. However, Yun Chujo was getting more and more powerless. It was still fine during the day, but at night, Yun Chujo was afraid that Su Yanran would reinforcements. She could only let Little Black keep watch. She could only close her eyes a little while, and it was impossible for her to have a good rest. Damn it! Sooner or later I'm going to get stronger, and I'm going to torture that little bitch Su Yanran to death. I don't know what kind of fortuitous encounter she had. Not only did her spiritual power slowly increase, but she also has a treasure that can see through the concealment talisman. Yun Chujo cursed as she ran. Little Black saw that Yun Chujo was slowing down, and said worriedly, Master, if this keeps up you'll falter eventually. What else can I do? The concealment talisman is ineffective, and the people from the Linghua sect are too scattered to be organized. If I were to fight them head-on, I wouldn't be able to defeat them. I can only grit my teeth and persevere until the end of the trial and be ejected from the ancient mine. Damn it, I originally wanted to make a fortune here, but in the end, I only cared about running for my life. I didn't manage to find anything valuable. It's infuriating. The frustration in Yun Chujia's heart was clear, however. There was nothing she could do. In the past, when she encountered a crisis, all she had to do was use her brain or talk her way out of it. This time she had no immediate solution. If Su Yanran had only brought a dozen people with her, there was still a chance of winning. If Yun Chujia went all out, but fuck, she had nearly 100 people with her. Even Elder Shao might not be able to escape unscathed against that many. Yun Chujia's stamina gradually ran out, and Su Yanran gradually shortened the distance between them. Su Yanran shouted viciously, Yun Chujia, don't waste your energy. This time you won't be able to escape even if you had wings. Yun Chujia gritted her teeth. If it didn't work, then she could only think of a way to restrain Su Yanran and force those people to leave. However, that little bitch Su Yanran was much smarter than Bai Moru. Things went wrong, I might end up walking into a trap. What should I do? Climb the mountain? The defensive spirit tools on my body were already more than half damaged. If I climbed again, all of my defensive spirit tools would be destroyed. 2 hours later, Su Yanran and her people finally caught up to Yun Chujia. She was completely surrounded. Su Yanran looked at Yun Chujia with a cold smile. Yun Chujia, do you want to end it yourself? Or do you want us to kill you? Beauty Su, there is no animosity between you and I. Do you really need to kill me? Yun Chujia said with a smile. Chapter 584. A bloody path. Yun Chujia, you have repeatedly made our Heaven's Gate sect suffer losses. Everyone in our Heaven's Gate hates you to the bone. Cut the crap and die. Get her. Su Yanran took a few steps back and signaled for the people of the Heaven's Gate sect to attack. Yun Chujia cursed in her heart. This Su Yanran was cunning and hid behind her fellow disciples. Now, she didn't have any good ideas and could only cut a bloody path through. Yun Chujia raised her hand and several bolts of lightning struck the disciples in the south. Those disciples didn't expect that Yun Chujia would actually be able to use lightning. They were caught off guard and were struck directly. Yun Chujia didn't care about the attacks from the other 3 directions at all. Anyway, she had a defensive spirit tool to block them. She continuously fired toward the disciples in the south. The disciples in the south were stunned for a moment. We have seen fireballs, wind blades, water arrows, and poison vines before. What the hell is this lightning? Can a human even use lightning attacks? Or is it purple lightning? Is this Yun Chujia really not a human, but a spirit that is animating a corpse? Yun Chujia's spiritual power was slightly higher than theirs. Coupled with the fact that they were caught off guard, Yun Chujia managed to create an opening. Yun Chujia ran forward with all her might. Chase her. We must kill Yun Chujia today. Su Yanran was also extremely shocked. Yun Chujia had a thunder spirit root, and it was even a heavenly thunder spirit root. No wonder she had always been one step ahead of me. It turned out that she had been a wolf in sheep's clothing. Damn bitch. I must kill her. If she was still alive, I would never be able to stand out. At this moment, Yun Chujia truly felt what it meant to be cornered. Fortunately, the boots on her feet could help her increase her speed. Otherwise, she would have been caught by Su Yanran long ago due to exhaustion. Even so, an hour later, Su Yanran caught up again from behind. All kinds of spiritual power attacks flew toward Yun Chujia's back. Fireball, wind blade, water arrow. There were even poison vines that emerged from the ground. Yun Chujia's defensive spiritual artifacts were constantly damaged, and she even almost crashed into a wall from all the attacks. Fuck, she had finally received some birthday presents, and now they were all fucking gone. Su Yanran, you little bitch, just you wait. Sooner or later I will take my revenge. Just as Yun Chujia was at her wit's end, 3 people ran over from the side. They were Fengming, Gangyi, and Shixian. Junior sister little Jiu, come. We'll take turns carrying you. Get some rest. Fengming carried Yun Chujia on his back and ran quickly. When Yun Chujo saw Feng Ming and the others, she felt that the three of them were like little angels waving their wings. No matter what, if she could take a breather, she did not believe that she could not think of a good way to escape. Now was not the time to chat. Yun Chujo did not ask why the three of them had appeared, but instead, she quickly recovered her strength. When Su Yanran saw Feng Ming and the other two rushing out, she was infuriated. She should not have worried too much at that time and just killed Feng Ming and the others earlier. It was a miscalculation. The spiritual power of Feng Ming and the other two was higher than most of the people of the Heaven's Gate sect, so their speed was naturally faster than theirs. Although they were carrying Yun Chujo, she was petite. The three of them took turns carrying her, so they were not caught by the people of the Heaven's Gate sect. After an hour, Yun Chujio's physical strength recovered a little, and the four of them were even faster. Gradually, the distance between them widened, and Yun Chujo finally let out a sigh of relief. The four of them came up with an escape plan. It was not feasible to keep running like this. It was best to find a place to hide. When the trial was over, it would be easy to send her out of the ancient mine. Chapter 585. Little Black Rat returns the favor. Feng Ming said with a bitter face, "Junior sister Little Jiu, this ancient mine is very spacious. We can see a distance of more than 10 miles at a glance. Where can we hide?" Yun Chujo was also frowning. Where can we possibly hide? It would be great if we could drill into the ground. Squeak! Squeak! A small black beast drilled out from the ground and kept calling to Yun Chujo. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. "Isn't this the black rat that I saved a few days ago? What is it trying to do? Mickey Mouse, what are you calling me for? The little bitch chasing us wants to kill us. We have to run for our lives, so we can't play with you anymore." Yun Chujo didn't care if Little Black Rat could understand her or not. The corners of Feng Ming and the other two's eyes twitched. What or who the hell was Mickey Mouse? Little Black Rat cried out even more anxiously. When it saw that Yun Chujo was still running forward, it anxiously raised its hind legs and used one of its claws to point to the west. Then it used its two front claws to hold its head. Yun Chujo blinked her eyes. "You mean there's a good place for us to hide?" Little Black Rat nodded desperately and squeaked excitedly. Feng Ming and the other two were amazed. "Fuck! Isn't the tailless stone-eating rat a level 3 demon beast? How can it be so smart? It can even understand human language?" Gung Yi said in disbelief. Feng Ming's eyes lit up. "Junior sister Little Jiu, since we have nowhere else to go, why don't we follow this little black rat?" Yun Chujo nodded and said to Little Black Rat, "Mickey Rat, lead the way." Little Black Rat quickly ran up while Yun Chujo and the others followed closely. Little Black Rat took a few turns and brought the four of them to the front of a mine. Then Little Black Rat burrowed into the ground through a small hole. Yun Chujio's nose almost went crooked from anger. "You actually burrowed in the ground? Are we also rats that can burrow with our physique?" Feng Ming and the other two were also dumbfounded. They were originally full of hope, but now it felt like a basin of cold water had been poured on them. It was the same kind of water filled with ice cubes. It was too depressing. "Mickey Mouse, get out here. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you think that we have the same small body or digging abilities as you?" Yun Chujo was so angry that she twitched. As soon as Yun Chujo finished her sentence, the stone wall in front of them slowly rose, and Little Black Rat began to squeak from the inside. Yun Chujio's eyes immediately lit up, and she quickly brought Feng Ming and the other two inside. Before Yun Chujo went in, she used an elongated rolling pin to pull up the gravel within a few feet, removing the traces left by the four of them. Feng Ming and the other two looked at each other. They were very impressed by Yun Chujio's sharp mind. Even at this time she could still think of these minor details. Junior sister Little Jiu was indeed smart. After Yun Chujo entered, Little Black Rat leaped up to a height of 6 feet. Its front paw pressed on a protruding spot, and the stone wall slowly fell again. Squeak! Squeak! Little Black led the way, and the four people followed it all the way. Yun Chujo looked at it as she walked. This should be a man-made tunnel, and no one knew where it led to. The four of them followed Little Black Rat for a full hour. When they encountered another thick stone wall, Little Black Rat went in through a small hole and opened the way. They had gone through 9 stone walls when the scene in front of them suddenly changed. It was so dazzling that it made them dizzy. Chapter 586. I am not a greedy person, oh my god. Yanxia. Zhuyu. Yanxing. Furong. Oh my god, these are all high-grade ores. Gengyi exclaimed. How can there be so many valuable ores here? It seems like they were transported from somewhere else and not originally found here. Shixian picked up a piece and looked at it. Could this be a warehouse or something from the past? Look, we have passed through 9 stone walls. The thickness of the stone walls is abnormal. An ordinary person would not be able to set up such a mechanism. Fengming guessed. The 3 of them saw that Yun Chuzhou had not said anything, so they looked at her. They saw that she was enamored by all the ores in front of her, and her eyes were hooked. Little Black Rat noticed Yun Chuzhou's gaze and squeaked unhappily. Yun Chuzhou laughed dryly. Mickey Mouse, don't be unhappy. I'm not the kind of person who is greedy and evil. Anyway, you can't eat so much, so just give me a few pieces as a souvenir. Fengming and the other 2 simply could not bear to look at it. Little Black Rat had saved us, and you still have the nerve to ask for a souvenir. Little Black Rat rolled its eyes and used its claws to point at the smallest piece of smoke cloud ore. It squeaked twice at Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou pouted. This little Black Rat was really stingy. However, no matter how small a bounty was, it was better than nothing. It will have to do for now, but I don't believe that a little mouse like you can outsmart me. Senior brother Fengming, this place is very hidden. Even if Su Yanran finds out that we are hiding here with their strength, they won't be able to destroy the stone wall in a short period of time. Moreover, there are 9 stone walls here. We can just hide out here. When the 1-month trial time is up, we'll be transported out. Yun Chuzhou lay on the ground. Fuck. I can finally catch my breath. I was almost killed by that little bitch, Su Yanran. Fengming and the other 2 were also paralyzed on the ground. These few days were the most dangerous days they had ever encountered, especially when Yun Chuzhou seemingly committed suicide by taking the poison. It felt like the darkest moment of her life. Senior brother Fengming, I didn't expect you to react so quickly. If you hadn't been able to read the words I wrote in your palm, then I would have put on a show for nothing. When Yun Chuzhou fell into Fengming's arms, Yun Chuzhou had been lying on the ground and had written the word bluff on Fengming's palm. Fortunately, Fengming's reaction was fast. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to escape. Fengming smiled and said, I was also stunned at that time, but I thought that junior sister little Joe was usually very cowardly. How could she have so easily taken the poison and committed suicide? Yun Chuzhou was so angry that she was twitching. Senior brother Bird, the boat of our friendship has capsized again. The friendship is over. That's it. Gengyi and Shixian looked at the dumbfounded Fengming and could not help but laugh out loud. Fengming's EQ was really too low. He really knew how to push buttons. The 4 of them slept until noon the next day. Only then did they get up full of energy. Mickey Mouse, those people didn't find this place, right? Yun Chuzhou asked the little black mouse who was chewing on a piece of misty ore. Little Black Rat shook its head proudly and continued to happily chew on the piece of misty ore. Yun Chuzhou saw that the piece of misty ore was getting smaller and smaller, and her heart ached. Damn! This Mickey Mouse was chewing on spiritual stones, what a waste! Yun Chuzhou's eyes suddenly lit up. Senior brothers, how do you think this Mickey Mouse found this place? Is it a legendary stone-eating mouse? Chapter 587. Seduce Little Black Rat, maybe it's possible. After all, it looks different from those silver-tailless mountain rats. Moreover, this place is extremely hidden. How did it find it? I guess it found this place by relying on its sense of smell, Shixian said. When Yun Chuzhou heard this, her eyes rolled around. Damn, it would be great if she could seduce this Mickey Mouse. Not only would all these rare ores belong to her, but with this Mickey Mouse helping her, she would only need to go around mining and be able to make a fortune. Ha ha ha. She had said it before. How could one be unlucky all the time? Although she was being chased by that little bitch, Su Yen ran, she was about to make a fortune. Feng Ming and the other two could not help but tremble when they heard Yun Chujia's strange laughter. What scheme was junior sister little Jiu coming up with? Could it be that she wanted to take this little black rat for herself? Feng Ming pulled Yun Chuzhou to the side. Using an extremely low voice, he said, "Junior sister little Jiu, could it be that you have plans for that little black rat? I heard that the ancient demonic beast stone-eating rat's temperament is extremely strange. It's very difficult for humans to tame it. Moreover, if you force it to obey a master, it will suffer some sort of backlash. If it's not done properly, its body will be destroyed." Yes, I understand. I want to act rashly. Yun Chuzhou narrowed her eyes. I've already got 9 ancient strange beasts. What is a single little rat compared to those? Yun Chuzhou first used the gourmet seduction plan. She didn't expect that little black rat would only be interested in it was completely uninterested in the meat buns that Yun Chuzhou took out. Yun Chuzhou then tried to describe the colorful world outside. Little black rat still looked uninterested. Yun Chuzhou gritted her teeth. She could only use her last move. She summoned little black bird. Cough cough, let little black bird hook up with little black rat. Little black bird scoffed at Yun Chujia's method. Other than being able to eat ores, little black rat was useless? It couldn't fight, and it couldn't be used as a mount. It was a glutton. Why did little black bird have to please it? Little black rat glared at little black bird with its bean-like eyes. Not only did it not succeed in hooking up with it, it even angered little black bird. The two of them fought fiercely, but little black rat couldn't fly. A few of its feathers were bitten off by little black rat. Little black rat's ears were also pecked off by little black bird. Little black rat squeaked and squeaked in pain. It glared at little black bird angrily and disappeared into a hole. Yun Chuzhou was so angry that she grabbed little black bird's short wings. Little black. You idiot. I asked you to hook up with Mickey Mouse, but you fought with it. Are you trying to rebel? What? You don't love me anymore. You heartless master. You like the new and dislike the old. You don't love me anymore. I'm so sad. What? Little black bird cawed. Feng Ming and the other two couldn't bear to hear it. Although they didn't understand what little black bird was saying, it sounded very sad, so they tried to persuade her. Junior sister little Jiu, forget it. It's normal for spiritual beasts to fight. Besides, that little black rat isn't badly injured. I'll be back soon. Yun Chuzhou glared at little black bird and said with her mind, you idiot. If little black rat accepts us, these ores are all ours. We can find more valuable ores in the future. More means more money. With more money, we can eat anything and anywhere to our heart's content. Little black bird stared at her with its bean-like eyes and turned around. It said proudly, "Humph, isn't it just a little mouse? If I can provoke it, I can also smooth its fur. Master, look at me. I will definitely lure it back for you." Chapter 588. The Shameless Little Black Bird. Little Black Bird. As long as you successfully seduce Mickey Mouse, I will definitely not mistreat you in the future. When we return to the Linghua faction, I will bring you to a restaurant to eat whatever you want, Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Little Black Bird immediately nodded its little head happily and agreed. It then cried out towards the hole that Little Black Rat had crawled into. After a while, Little Black Rat crawled out of the hole and glared at Little Black Bird fiercely. Little Black Bird jumped in front of Little Black Rat, and it thought it was going to fight again. It stared at Little Black Bird vigilantly, and was ready to rush up and bite it at any time. Little Black Rat did not expect that Little Black Bird would shamelessly flap its wings and dance around on the spot. This action not only confused Little Black Rat, but even Yun Chuzhou and the others were dumbfounded. Yun Chuzhou thought to herself, Little Black Bird is really shameless. It had to be said it had learned well from its master, and it was better than her. After Little Black Rat was stunned, it looked at Little Black Bird with relish. It had always been alone, so it was inevitable that it felt lonely. A few days ago, when it saw that the tailless mountain rats were somewhat similar to it, it wanted to get close to them. However, it did not expect that it would be treated as a different species and the entire group would chase after it. If it was not for Yun Chuzhou, it would have died. Now that it saw that the little black bird was so friendly, it forgot about the unhappiness from before. It happily pushed a piece of or in front of little black bird. Little black bird was very pleased with itself. Humph! There was nothing that I could not handle. This fellow had completely learned the essence of Yunchujia's deceit, and even had or offered to it. It was as if it wanted to make friends with Yunchujio without expecting anything in return. This was the first time in so many years that little black rat had received such warmth. In just half a day it was inseparable from little black bird. Yunchujio touched her chin. She did not know if the little black rat was male or female. If it was female, little black bird would probably kidnap it in the future. It was too easy to fool. In the next few days, the little black rat would go outside every morning to investigate the situation. Although Su Yen Ran and the others had searched this place, they did not expect that there was another world under the stone wall. Therefore, they left after looking around and finding nothing. After some discussion with the group, Yunchujio decided to stay here as a precaution until the trial period of the ancient mine was over, and they were sent out. The relationship between little black rat and little black bird was getting better. At first, little black bird did not have good intentions, but it was also lonely. As time passed, little black rat and little black bird had developed feelings for each other for real, and the two of them were inseparable. Time flew by. The next day was the last day of the month. Yunchujio started to pull in the net. Mickey Mouse, tonight you and little black bird have fun. Because tomorrow we will be teleported out. You two will never see each other again. Yunchujio had a wolf-like smile on her face. Little black rat was stunned at first, then looked at little black bird. Little black bird drooped its wings, nodded its little head, and cried a few times. Little black rat immediately became dispirited, and its bright black eyes became dim, with a lonely look on its face. Yunchujio was secretly happy and said with a smile, Mickey Mouse, there is a way for you two to be together for a long time. It depends on whether you are willing to do it or not. Feng Ming and the other two stood at the side and lit a candle for little black rat in their hearts. Looking at little black rat's reluctant appearance, it was most likely that it would be successfully tempted by junior sister little Jiu. They had finally opened their eyes. There was actually such a way to tame a spiritual pet. Chapter 589. Taming Successful. Little black rat listened to Yunchujia's words and looked at Yunchujio with hope, waiting for her to continue. Yunchujio said with a smile, as long as you acknowledge me as your master, not only can you play with little black bird, but you can also leave this ancient mine and go see the outside world. Aren't you curious about what the outside world is like? The outside world was not like this one. It was vast and desolate. The outside world was filled with flowers, willows, and flowers. It was full of splendor. There was nothing that one could not imagine or see. When the time comes, I will bring you and little black bird to travel and eat all sorts of delicacies around the world. Just thinking about it is very enticing, isn't it? Although little black rat's eyes revealed a look of yearning, a trace of hesitation flashed in its eyes, but it still shook its head. Yunchujio gave little black bird a look. Little black bird squeezed out 2 teardrops and cried out miserably. The sound was so sad that it made anyone who heard it cry. Feng Ming and the other two looked at each other. What kind of master had this kind of spiritual pet? This little black bird's acting skills were not inferior to junior sister Jiu's. In fact, they had misunderstood. Little black bird was really crying. Firstly, he really could not bear to part with little black rat. Secondly, when he thought of the promise of being able to eat delicious food at a restaurant that had gone down the drain, he immediately felt sad. That was why he cried out loudly. When little black rat saw that little black bird was so sad, its eyes immediately turned red and tears fell. When Yunchujio saw this, she could not help but feel a trace of guilt in her heart. Oh my God, these two are really wild beasts. Why do I feel like the queen mother who broke up the cowherd in Weaver Girl? Don't cry. Don't cry. Mickey Mouse, as long as you acknowledge me as your master, won't this problem be solved? If you acknowledge me as your master, it'll help you keep all these ores. It'll definitely guarantee that you won't starve. Moreover, the master is the kindest. Even if you don't have any abilities, I won't despise you. Yoon Chujio said slowly and coyly, her face full of sincerity. Little black rat's eyes lit up. It squeaked twice and nodded. Yoon Chujio was overjoyed. However, she had learned from her previous experience. There might be a strange phenomenon when this kind of ancient demon beast recognized its master. It would be bad if Su Yenran was summoned. Anyway, she would only be sent out tomorrow at midnight. I'll make it in time for little black rat to recognize me as its master. So Yoon Chujio put forward her ideas to Mickey Mouse. Little black rat nodded in agreement, happy to let Yoon Chujio get hold of the ore be put away. Yoon Chujio sighed as she collected the ores. TSK, Mickey is really naive. Isn't it afraid that I will run away after collecting all the ore? Fortunately, I am not that kind of person. Moreover, cough cough, I still want bigger fish. With Mickey's treasure hunting skills, I may find an even larger hoard. I have plenty of opportunities to make a fortune. Yoon Chujio slept exceptionally soundly that night. In her dream, she dreamed that she had brought little black rat along to find countless treasures. The spirit stones in her storage ring were so full that they were about to overflow. She laughed loudly in her dream, scaring Feng Ming and the other two out of their stupor. At midnight the next day, Yoon Chujio bit her index finger impatiently and dripped the blood into little black rat's mouth. Little black rat's front claws formed a seal, and a moment later, the contract was successfully formed. Yoon Chujio's face was beamed like a flower. As long as the contract was completed, this was the first step to her road to riches. A soft little girl's voice sounded in Yoon Chujio's mind. Master, I have something to tell you. After hearing little black rat's words, Yoon Chujio sat on the ground with a look of despair. Chapter 590. Tricked by a black-hearted rat, Yoon Chujio sat on the ground for a long while. Then she lay her hands on the ground and wailed. Oh my God, I thought I got lucky, but I didn't expect it to be false luck. Oh my God, my life is so hard. It's even harder than eating coptis. Mickey Mouse, you bastard, did you do it on purpose? Little black bird. You idiot. Why didn't you ask around before seducing it? You actually managed to abduct a child for me. My heart. My spirit stones. Little black bird drooped its head and looked guilty. It trembled as it hid beside little black rat. Little black bird widened its bean-like eyes and used its wings to wrap around little black rat. It looked like it was not afraid of anything. When Yoon Chujio saw the two lovebirds, she howled even louder. You two are so heartless. Are you two ganging up on me? Why is my life so miserable? Feng Ming and the other two were dumbfounded. What was going on? Junior sister little Jiao, what is going on? Why are you crying? Feng Ming asked curiously. Woo! This damn thing told me that although it is a stone-eating rat, it is still a little cub. It must eat a certain amount of precious ores before it can use its innate ability. I asked it how much it needs to eat, and it told me that it needs to eat at least twice as much as what we saw. Oh my God, I reckon that even if I die, this thing will not be able to use its innate ability. I still have to spend money to buy rare ores to feed it. I really can't get what I want. Yoon Chujio cried miserably as she glared at little black rat, who was hiding beside the little black bird. Feng Ming and the other two were also shocked. Junior sister Jiao had just shot herself in the foot. Feng Ming coughed dryly. Junior sister Jiao, what's done is done. Maybe things will turn around in the future. Yoon Chujio wiped her tears with her sleeve and muttered. Things haven't been going well for me recently. First, I was chased by that little bitch Su Yenran, and now I've been tricked by that black-hearted rat Mickey. It must be that old bastard Tiandao who tricked me. The corners of Feng Ming and the other two's eyes twitched violently, but they didn't dare to say anything. In the Qingxian continent, the only one who dared to publicly scold Tiandao was probably only junior sister Jiao. Junior sister little Jiao, it's almost time. Put those two into the spirit beast pouch. We are about to be transported out, Feng Ming reminded Yoon Chujio. After a short while, the grievances in her heart eased a little. She glared at little black bird and little black rat and put the two into the spirit beast pouch. The four of them stood together, waiting to be transported out. However, after a while nothing happened. Yoon Chujio frowned. It's already time, Why haven't we been transported out? Did we remember the wrong date? It's not time yet. Feng Ming frowned. It's time and the date is right too. We should have already been teleported out. Maybe there's a time delay? Gung Yi said this without much confidence. In thousands of years there had never been a delay. The disciples were always sent out on time. The four people suddenly had an ominous premonition. Could it be that something bad happened? Mickey, go out and see if there are any humans around. Yun Chujiu let Mickey out to take a look around. 4 hours later, Little Black Rat came back. Master, there are no humans outside. Chapter 591. Left behind, Yun Chujiu and the others were instantly dumbfounded. What did that mean? Could it be that everyone else had been teleported out, and they were the only ones left there? Heavens, if that was really the case, would they not be trapped there for years? Moreover, who knew if there would be any other changes in this place? They might even be trapped there and die. At that moment, the four of them did not care if they would run into Su Yenran anymore. They hurriedly passed through the 9 stone walls and reached the outside. Yun Chujiu climbed to the top of the mine and looked around. Indeed, she did not see a single person. The four of them were unwilling to accept this. They searched within a radius of 100 miles but still found nothing. The four of them could only accept the fact that they were trapped in the ancient mine. Yun Chujiu simply wanted to cry, but she had no tears. Oh my God! Why did it have to be like this? Could it have something to do with us being in that mine? Xian thought for a while and said. Feng Ming slapped his thigh. Maybe it really is meant to be like that. Think about it, there are so many rare ores here. If we can be teleported out, wouldn't it be too easy for petty thieves as well? Oh right. Junior sister Little Joe, how did Little Black find that place? Yun Chujiu pouted. It said that it had been there since it was conscious. Later it felt bored and dug a hole for fun. Doesn't know anything else. It's just a glutton. The four of them discussed for some time, but there was no way out. If they could not find a way, they could only wait for a decade before being able to exit the place. Yun Chujiu's sorrow came from within. Oh my God. 10 years later, perhaps the gigolo would have been seduced by some woman. By the time she exits the place, he would be the father of a few children. It was all that little bitch Su Yanran's fault. If she had not chased after her, she would not have hidden in that cave. If she had not hidden in that cave, they would not have been trapped there. At that moment, outside the ancient mine, Elder Xiao and Elder Chu were as anxious as ants on a hot pot. After counting the number of people, they found that more than 10 disciples were dead or injured. However, what worried them the most was that Yun Chujiu, Feng Ming, Xian, and Gung Yi did not come out. Could it be that the four of them had died there? The successor disciples of the 3 peak masters and an ancestor. This would be a death sentence if something really happened. Elder Chu and Elder Xiao asked the disciples who entered the trial one by one if they had seen Yun Chujiu and the other two. Some disciples said that they had met Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu said that she was chased by the Heavenly Gate sect and asked them to find a place to hide, but they had not met her since. Elder Xiao and Elder Chu immediately went to the Heavenly Gate sect to settle scores. The leader of the Heavenly Gate sect was an old acquaintance, Elder Zhang. When he heard that Yun Chujiu did not exit, he could not help but laugh. The heavens are really fair. This must be that bitch, Yun Chujiu's retribution. Elder Chu was already extremely anxious. When he heard Elder Zhang say that, he immediately slapped him. If Elder Xiao still had his previous temperament, he would definitely have stopped Elder Chu. However, ever since he had an epiphany, his temperament had become more casual. Not only did he not stop him, he even helped Elder Chu attack Elder Zhang. Elder Zhang cursed angrily, Xiao Pancher, Chu Bewley, you two old scoundrels. How dare you fight? All of you attack. Teach these 2 old scoundrels a lesson. Seeing this, the other elders of the Heavenly Gate sect rushed forward. The people of the Spirit Radiance sect naturally did not want to be outdone, so the people of both sides stood together. In the end, it was the leading elders of the Skyblade sect and the Bixiao Palace who stopped them. Elder Chu scolded angrily, It must be that old bastard Dugai who told you to kill that little Joe girl in the ancient mine. Our spirit radiance sect will not forgive you. Chapter 592. It's the infighting between your disciples. Su Yanran walked out of the crowd and said with a cold smile, Elder Chu, I admit that I went after Yun Chujio, but we didn't kill her. After entering the ancient mine for half a month, we haven't seen her, Feng Ming, and the others since. If you want to find their whereabouts, you might as well ask Spirit Radiant Sects Shui Piaoyu and Ding Lang. The hatred between the two of them and Yun Chujio is even greater. The relationship between your disciples is really interesting. After Elder Chu heard Su Yanran's words, he subconsciously turned around to look at Shui Piaoyu and Ding Lang. He saw that the two of them were avoiding his gaze. It was obvious that they were hiding something from him with their previous answers. He was instantly so angry that he gritted his teeth. No matter what, the Heavenly Gates sect openly went after our Spirit Radiance sect's disciples in the ancient mine. Our sect will not just suck it up. If Heavenly Gates sect doesn't give us an explanation, then we will cut off the earth fire supply, Elder Chu said furiously. Elder Zhang sneered. Su Yanran made it very clear that Yun Chujio and the others weren't killed by our disciples. This was caused by the infighting among your disciples. What does that have to do with us? If you really want to add fuel to fire, then why don't you wait for our sect master Du to negotiate with sect master Xianyuan? Let's go. After Elder Zhang finished speaking, he led the people of the Heavenly Gates sect away. Although Su Yanran felt a little regretful that she did not kill Yun Chujio with her own hands, Yun Chujio was not ejected from the trial, so she must have died inside. It was truly retribution. The people of the Skyblade sect in Bixiao Palace advised Elder Xiao and Elder Chu a few words before they left the ancient mine with their respective disciples. Elder Chu ordered the people of the Spirit Radiance sect to set up camp and interrogate Ding Lang and Shui Piaoyu individually. The two of them insisted that Su Yanran was trying to sow discord, and the reason why the two of them looked so anxious was because they were worried about the safety of Yun Chujio and the others. Elder Chu could not help but sneer. After imprisoning the two of them and sending someone to watch over them, he then interrogated Wu Yanyu, Lu Shi, and the other three disciples individually. Wu Yanyu was timid and thought that she had the least responsibility, so she told them everything. Lu Shi and the other three disciples also could not resist Elder Xiao's pressure, and told them the truth. What? Shui Piaoyu and Ding Lang actually did such a vicious thing? They actually forced little Zhou to commit suicide to save their own lives. Elder Chu was so angry that his beard was standing on its end. Elder Xiao and the others were also shocked. Shui Piaoyu had always had a good reputation among the younger generation of disciples. Not only was she good-looking, but she was also kind and generous. No one would say that she was good, but they did not expect that she would do such a vicious thing. Although they were a little shocked, Su Yanran was not the only one who said so. Even Wu Yanyu and the others had confessed, so it must be true. Elder Chu immediately ordered the disciples to bring Shui Piaoyu and Ding Lang up. The two of them originally wanted to quibble, but when they saw Wu Yanyu and the others, they knew that the matter must have been exposed. Shui Piaoyu glared at Wu Yanyu viciously. Slut. She did not expect that Shui Piaoyu, who was usually obedient to her, would betray her at such a critical moment. Sooner or later she would kill this slut. Wu Yanyu was so frightened by Shui Piaoyu's vicious gaze that she trembled. However, compared to the punishment given by the sect, she would rather offend Shui Piaoyu. Betraying a fellow disciple was a huge crime, and Shui Piaoyu was definitely going to suffer this time. Wu Yanyu, Lu Shi, and the others have already told the truth about what happened. What else do the two of you have to say? Elder Xiao's face was as dark as coal as he asked sternly. Chapter 593. Black Thing will definitely be fine. Shui Piaoyu revealed an expression of self-blame and guilt. Elders. Yes, I admit that I have indeed done something that has let junior sister Yun down. I shouldn't have forced her to commit suicide. However, I didn't do it for myself. At that time, Su Yanran led over 100 disciples from the Heavenly Gates sect to besiege us. I had no choice but to make this decision. At that time I was also in a dilemma. However, I felt that compared to the lives of my 9 senior brothers and sisters, it was the best for junior sister Yoon to sacrifice herself. I believe that the others also had the same thoughts. However, they were too embarrassed to speak out due to their feelings, so I decided to be the villain. I had already thought it through then. As long as we safely leave the ancient mine, I would write a letter to my father, asking him to do his best to compensate junior sister Yoon's family. Moreover, I will also do my best to kill Su Yenran and avenge junior sister Yoon. Elder Xiao's eyes were filled with anger and disappointment after hearing Zhuo Piaoyu's words. Peak Master Yuan had always treated Zhuo Piaoyu as his own daughter, and had only taken in this one true disciple. He had put all his effort into Zhuo Piaoyu, but he had never thought that in the end, Peak Master Yuan would actually raise an ingrate. She had betrayed Yun Chuzhou for her life. And in the future, she would betray Peak Master Yuan and Spirit Radiance sect for profit. Elder Xiao then turned his gaze to Ding Lang. Ding Lang, out of the 10 people who were trapped, you are the oldest and you have been in the sect for the longest time. Why didn't you stop Zhuo Piaoyu? Instead, you helped the villain and bullied Yun Chuzhou. You even attacked Feng Ming and the other 2? Ding Lang sneered in his heart. Yes, I have been in the sect for the longest time, but did you give me the same treatment? We are both true disciples, but I can't compare to Feng Ming and the other 2. I can't even compare to that trash Yun Chuzhou. That old man Elder Qi treats Yun Chuzhou 100 times better than me. Why? However, he naturally would not say these things out loud. He also revealed a look of self-blame and guilt as he said, Elders junior sister Zhua and I had the same thinking, that is to use the smallest sacrifice in exchange for the lives of more people. At that time the situation was urgent. I saw that Feng Ming and the others were stubborn, so I had no choice but to make a move to calm him down. The faces of the elders were filled with deep disappointment and anger. These 2 people were clearly afraid of death, but they spoke in a dignified manner and had no intention of repentance. They were truly hopeless. Elder Chu was so angry that he wanted to slap Zhuo Piaoyu and Ding Lang to death on the spot. What was the point of keeping such scumbags who betrayed their fellow disciples? The other elders hurriedly tried to dissuade him, and let the disciples take Zhuo Piaoyu and the others away. Old Chu, don't be rash. This matter needs to be decided by the sect master. Moreover, it's not like you don't know Zhuo Piaoyu's identity. The strength of the Zhuo family is comparable to a medium-sized sect. Offending them too harshly is also a problem. The most important thing now is to find a way to find out the whereabouts of Yun Chuzhou and the others. As for Zhuo Piaoyu and the others, it wouldn't be too late to deal with them when we return to the sect. Elder Chu took a deep breath and calmed himself down before saying, let's wait here for a while longer. I believe little Jiu won't die so easily. How can a little pervert who can't even be killed by lightning die so easily? And Feng was about to go crazy from anxiety. He went straight to Elder Chu and asked him about what had happened. Then, he sent a voice transmission talisman to Di Biming and told him everything that had happened. After Di Biming received Feng's message, although he was very anxious, he had a strange feeling when he thought of Yun Chuzhou's trials. Black Thing would definitely be fine. Perhaps there was a deviation somewhere, or maybe she was just trapped in the ancient mine. However, that little devil would live like a fish in water wherever she went. She would definitely be fine. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.